1,135 episodes of this show. Holy smokes. It's been a long time. It's a lot of work from a lot of people, and a lot of good times, a lot of bad times, but a lot of good fun. And this strong possibility that the show is over. Strong possibility. I am joined tonight by the great comedian Dave Landau.
Hello, how are you?
You want to scoot over this way a little bit?
Oh, sure, whatever you want.
Then you look better on camera.
Thank you. Perfect. Is it good?
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're here at the old studio. The old studio where it all began. Actually, it didn't begin here. It began in Jersey, but Raymond's hanging out too.
What's up, guys?
And actually, I was planning on not doing a show at all, but Dave's here. He traveled all the way here. I felt kind of bad that like all of this begins to happen right when he's showing up, and I kind of was like, oh man, I don't want to screw Dave over.
You're fine. I'm good at ruining shows, so I'm perfect. I'm a great guest for you.
And Raymond was also here too, and I figured for what the conversation is going to be, because this is not going to be a news show, I figured it'd be good if you hung out, because you started as just like a fan of the show,
yeah,
and you super chatted every day, and then you came to work here. And there's a handful of people here who are like that.
Yep.
But
me too.
Yeah, Serge.
Yep.
Serge as well. And but you were sitting here already.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then no disrespect to Hannah Claire, who was here, but I really didn't want to do a show, so I just said it probably would be better if you weren't on the show tonight. And so apologies to Hannah Claire, because she does a good job. But yeah, I think this might be the end.
Why?
Be the end. Cascade failure. We are well off. It is not a financial thing. We make a lot of money, but piece by piece, the structure becomes bigger and bigger and bigger until it becomes impossible to manage.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we hit today. So it's like there's a series of, I would never call out anybody personally or individually.
Should.
No.
All right.
There's also legal ramifications to insulting employees.
Oh, that's true.
But I would just say that like compounding, laziness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that builds up over time, which adds more and more workload to me and Allison, to get to the point where we're just like, can't do it. And it's tough because we've this is not a for a lot of people, they're hearing this right now like, holy crap,
yeah,
why is this happening? I was like, oh, we've been talking about this for months.
Yeah.
And then it's fascinating because like 3 months ago, we're going over like finances, and I'll break it all down for everybody. We do really well. Our members, you guys seriously do sustain us, and that allows us to have what I would call a safe profit margin every month. That means we're capable, like we're not worried that if we have a bad month, people are going to get fired or anything's going to shut down like that. And that's why I'm always like, we need members, so that we can try and make new things and grow and do bookings and make things good and better and all that stuff. And, the problem is, even with all of that, without a proper CEO who isn't hosting the show, it's not possible.
Yeah, you have to have somebody to go to that's not you.
Yeah, and so
I've learned that on my own show.
And yeah, you need a hierarchy, like any business needs a hierarchy.
And we have that. I mean, we don't have that many people for his company. It's like I think we have like 30 something employees.
Yeah.
And then like 10 contractors. But it's largely for the external projects that we are trying to do. The issue now is we can get rid of the external projects. And that's a lot of people that are part of the crew and everybody loves. And the challenge thing is like when we go through this and we're like, maybe we need to, we want to increase the buffer, we want to increase marketing. How do we sustain this show? How do we build more memberships? Well, the core product is Timcast, the morning show, Timcast IRL, and then the culture where we're trying to make something. And so we got to do marketing, we got to do travel. Well, I can't travel. So if I get invited to go on I can't do it.
Yeah, you can't do
because if I'm not doing IRL, I have to be dealing with paperwork on all these other projects. We've been trying to get a coffee shop open for 2 years. I'm done.
Longer than that.
Over
now.
Yep, over. And so, the conversations I've had with family is like, I am under no illusions that I have the capability to make this company what it could be. And I hear all these things. No, Tim, you're wrong. Oh, come on. We've been trying to get a coffee shop open for 2 years.
Yeah.
Clearly, I cannot do it. my feelings are not hurt when I'm like, I can't do it. I skateboard every day. I'm trying to do a nose mail nollie impossible out. I can't land it. And I'm like, maybe I'll get it one day, but I'm trying as hard as I can. But I am not going to cry and pretend that I can do something I can't do. So, ultimately what it comes down to is we had our like, I don't know, 12th studio failure this morning.
The new one.
Yeah, the new studio failed. And, my attitude with that is kind of just like, if we can't make cameras and a computer work, and despite all the previous failures we've had, there's not a single person here who can make sure that either the studio is operating or secondary studio is operating. We've gotten to a point in the company where everyone's kind of just kicked their feet up and said, I'm doing what I need to be doing. Yeah. And then that just means I'm Sisyphus pushing the rock up. The problem is people are sitting on the rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so that's why I was like, I'm not going to do the show tonight.
Well, what do you want? Like, what do you want out of this? That's an important thing to ask yourself. What does Tim want?
Well, I wanted to complain on the internet.
Well, let's do it.
So my here we are.
Look at what you've managed to build.
I know, it's incredible.
So you got to give yourself credit for that. So why get rid of it? I mean, you wanted to complain on the internet. You did it. I mean, you started by going out to protest, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, depends on where you say it all begins. Like I was making skate videos on YouTube.
Yeah,
and then that turned into, after like 5 skate videos, filming at Occupy Wall Street, which turned into live streaming, which turned into working for Vice, working for Fusion, and then starting my own company, and then transforming that slowly into a podcast. And then, here we are. So when I say complain on the internet, what I really mean is, I was talking to some friends of mine earlier who, pro skaters, and we were talking about why, I'll put it in my words, not theirs. Them. They're very cool.
Yeah, I like them a lot.
So for 4 years, we've been trying to do a show that is built around, we have this awesome property, we have skate parks, we have Willy Wonka's candy factory or whatever, chocolate factory. Why can't we get people to just do something?
Because if you haven't earned it, you're not as thirsty for it.
Perhaps.
And I found that in my own career where it's, I've had falling outs too with big shows, which sucks. And everybody knows that. Yeah. So it's like, it's not anything that I didn't make obvious. But at the same time, you do have to be hungry for your own thing, because then I hire friends and then those friends don't do anything for a year. And you're like, that's why this person didn't like you. Like, exactly. Like, I see. This is the problem. Like,
you know what I think too is I've been hearing this a lot from a lot of different people who are working small to large companies. And I'm not going to drag their personal business into the public or anything, but
no. And I've regretted doing that in the past.
I'm hearing a lot about how there's like a talent and management crisis right now, and the example that I've given, because I have no connection to it whatsoever, is Charlestown Races, where they used to have this awesome restaurant that overlooks the horse track, and the horses every Thursday, Friday, Saturday you get to watch the horses run and order food and hang out, and they don't have the restaurant anymore. Only on special occasions, rarely. I don't know how often they do it, but almost never. And they told me, I asked them why the restaurant shut down. It's because after COVID hit, everybody who worked there retired or quit. Nobody will do the job. They can't find anybody.
Right.
So, some other big companies have said the same thing. It seems like the top brass are grinding their fingers to the bone because they have a vision that they want to do. There's something that drives them to do something. Which brings me to, my friends, these skaters. And I said, why do you guys post videos every day? You have no boss. And they're like, I don't know. I want to do it. I'm like, right. You want to do it.
Same as me. Yeah.
And so you do. And then I think the problem we're facing as a country is most people do not. They will because they have to, and they hate that they do.
Weak times? Weak men? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
I'm pretty weak. I still do.
I mean, sure.
In fairness,
sure. I drive 2 hours a day to work, so I'm we're all ready to go.
Yeah, I fly from Detroit to my job.
Yeah,
I get it.
But it's like, again, like not calling anybody. I don't want to insult anyone directly, but it's just seeing someone stand around do nothing, and then so the challenge is, in order to make this show operate, I have to work what is effectively 16 hours a day. So like, I haven't had it's fair to say, weekday sunset in 4 years. Like just through the window or something, or now that we're in the new studio, there's no windows at all.
I'm colorblind, so.
But it's more about like wow, what if I finished work at a normal time like everybody else and just, I don't know, hopped in the car and went down to the river and looked at frogs?
Yeah, just it's the things you miss out on. really, because I can experience that.
But I'm willing to work my fingers to the bone to make something happen.
Yeah.
But not if we get to the point where it requires more people and we can't get to that point and it just doesn't happen. So then the reassessment is, okay, so the ancillary investment projects clearly are over.
Yeah.
And that's just unfortunate. But the issue then for these other shows and these other projects is they only exist off of the work that I do. Mm-hmm. If I show up in the morning and I do my morning show, I get to give a portion of the work that I do to them so that they can try and make something work. And, I know they're trying as hard as they can, and some more successful than others, but it just becomes too burdensome to the point where unless they get off the ground and are able to maintain and manage themselves and make money, we can't do it anymore.
Right.
So that isn't necessarily the bearing on this show. The bearing on this show is there's a degree of staff required to run a show like this, and it's you
can't lose power and then lose your show.
What was that?
Like, you can't lose power then lose your show.
What do you mean lose power?
Isn't that what happened at the other place?
No, the graphics card fried.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, we knew the computer was bad. We had repeatedly said we needed to get fixed, and it just never happens.
Okay.
So I'm like, hold on, man. Like, am I going to work 16 hours every single day to the bone and figuratively say I get no weekday sunsets so that someone else can be like, I ain't going to fix it?
Well, if you want to die of a heart attack very young, it's a good way to do
no,
it.
I'd be bored if I wasn't doing something. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, I'm willing to do this, but this requires other people who are willing to do it too. And there are a lot of people here who are willing to do a lot more and go above and beyond. Like Raymond sitting right here. Yeah. And that's why I was like, yeah, you should sit in this one. And then there are a lot of people that are like, when can I put the knife in Tim's back?
Don't you find that's any level of fame though? And any level of notoriety at this point?
Can't run a company with those people in your company though.
No, you can't. And I mean, if you know who they are, what do you do?
Oh, you fire them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and we've had people come through and try to burn us to the ground afterwards, and it's just like that's reality
and such. Am I not allowed to say that? I shouldn't just.
Is there what?
Would you?
Don't
repeat it.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, no, I was here like when they was being swatted a lot.
Yeah, you were here for one of the swattings, weren't you?
No, it was like the next day. Okay. I just missed it by a hair. But
good. But a lot of people don't understand too. The swattings were not like cops kicking the door down and storming in and us going like, ugh. Yeah. It was like our security company got a phone call.
Except the first time.
The first one seemed pretty.
The first
swatty.
and like the 10th.
Yeah. The
like
first
Brett
one
was out there on his hands and knees with his arms behind his head. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah. The first one was like the cops opened the door and they were looking at me and they were waving at me. I'm like, what? I'm in the middle of a live show, dude. I'm like,
I mean, as you're closing, as you're thinking about that was 40K congruent viewers that night.
But that wasn't the night everyone watched an empty room for 3 hours.
Yeah. Oh, that was the bomb. That was the bomb.
You're thinking of Sharecast.
Okay, yeah,
Sharecast. That was when we had a credible bomb threat that forced an evacuation.
Okay. Yeah, I'm an OG.
So I'll let you in some secrets too.
Bomb threats and swatting. I mean, I can't imagine why you're tired.
Well, but it's not just that. I'm not tired. I want to work, but I want to work effectively.
Sure.
And so there are ways to do big shows. Like I can keep doing my morning show. There's no issue. Yeah. I require 0 employees to do that. So I kind of feel like I shouldn't get paid less for, like, so I'll give you some stories. We've had instances of people who work here leaking private information to far leftists who are harassing and stalking us.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We've had instances of people stealing equipment, getting caught on camera. And it's just like, these things are normal. I totally get it.
Whose Fiero is that?
My brother's.
Okay, sweet.
It's cool.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You're talking about stealing stuff, and I just.
And you're like, I want that Fiero.
I want that Fiero.
Right when I got out, I was like, it's been a while since I've seen a Fiero.
He does.
I like the red one I saw though, and I remember. Anyway, I don't want to throw you off, but
no, but it's like this morning.
That's all I'm saying.
So it's we wrap the show Monday through Thursday around 11.
Yeah.
And then I have to go right to bed basically so that I can get enough sleep, and sometimes I don't. So then I wake up around 7:30. So I can eat breakfast, get ready, come in, and then try and figure out how to get the show done. As of recent, because we want to do Culture War, that means if I'm going to balance family and these shows and have the show be effective without dwindling into obscurity, I can't do 4 shows a week. You can't do it right now. Everybody's got content every single day of the week, so that means I need to do at least 5 days and then record extra content for the weekends so that I can have a persistent presence on the platform. Otherwise, YouTube punishes you. But it's also just about like, are you a company that doesn't work 3 days out of the week? I mean, then people are going to go other places. If a coffee shop's closed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then no one's going to go there.
Go watch elsewhere.
However, I can't do all of these things at the same time. I can't wake up at 7, go in, the computer's fried, studio doesn't work, no backups were created. I have no means of producing the show that makes money to run the business. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to make sure that I run and maintain and build the system. The first Timcast IRL studio that we built, I built by myself. All of it. Now we're at the point where we've got multiple people and we've built this big studio. I don't know what is what. When I built the studio, I knew every output. I knew every input. Now I have no idea. So when the computer breaks, I'm like, I don't know why. Why can't I reboot the computer? I don't know. And so that means I can't turn it on. Where's the backup system? It was never set up. Okay, well, I can't do morning, night, and family stuff at the same time. Impossible. So at this point, it's a cascade of failures and, straws on a camel's back where I'm like, okay, I don't think this is it. And so
it's not your failure though.
It is my failure.
Why,
absolutely my failure.
How do you see it?
The person at the top.
Always. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it lies on you. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. That's what they see.
I mean, I shouldn't rely on people. If I say the computer's broken, I need a backup studio, I should personally go and build a backup studio. The problem is I can't do everything.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. But so there is something I can do. If I set up my own studio for my morning show and I can make sure it works and I can have, youtube.com/TimcastNews, there will never be a failure ever again.
Yeah.
The show will run every single day. I will work a full day of work instead of a double day of work 5 days a week. And I'll make a lot of money doing it without doing a single ad read, all through programmatic YouTube ads. So if we've come to the point where I have to build the machines and run the show and be the CEO, then one of these things is I can't juggle them all.
Sure.
And so it seems like the most reasonable thing to do right now is literally just go back to doing the morning show. No Timcast IRL, single hosted, 0 employees. And then I can produce content. And that'll be it. And then I have to worry about running Timcast IRL.
Oh, you twice today, I think you mentioned managerial issues.
Yeah, and so one of the reasons I've been talking about
right at you.
No, I'm not a manager.
I don't know.
I wish I was.
I was just.
We wouldn't have this problem.
I'm just trying to add some levity here.
I'm not convinced. I mean, I've been talking about the managerial crisis in this country for like a year, and without getting into personal issues on the show.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people, like, how's this all happening at once? It's like exactly. It's like no. We've been having like managerial struggles for a long time.
Yeah, because you have a good relationship with these guys, though. So it's like, how do you?
Yeah. Well, most people here, right?
Yeah. Well, of course.
But it's like, look at it this way: if everyone's 90% doing well, that extra 10% from each employee that they're missing, I have to do. And at a certain point, it's not possible.
Well, and the extra 10% is what each person has to do to actually get it to thrive. That's the difference between 90 and 100.
Well, I mean, the challenge is right now. The big challenge is that anybody capable of doing it will do it on their own. And that's social media has created that potentiality, and that's fine. But if I go to someone who is talented and capable and I say, hey, we need a person who can film skateboarding, for instance, they're going to say, I'll just make my own YouTube channel and go film it myself. I don't need to work for you. And I'm like, fair point. You're right. So then we find someone and we're like, what about you? You seem to be able. And they're like, sure. And then 3 months goes by and we don't do anything.
But what's more your passion? Like, what's your enjoyment now? Do you still like doing it? This is it. Yeah.
And so that's why it's frustrating when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, holy crap, Trump on the fryer.
Yeah.
Look at, I was like, and then there's so much I wanted to talk about. And
that was a big story.
I can't talk about any of it. Like one of the Krasensteins attacked Trump saying he's attacking Kamala for not being at McDonald's. Can he prove he was at 9/11? Clearing out rubble, and I'm like, here's a picture of Donald Trump that was from ABC News of down on a week after 9/11. Like, Trump just said he was down there, helped a little bit.
Well,
yes,
allegedly Tim Walsh is doing DoorDash, so you got that going.
Is that a joke?
What?
Yes. But I just want to see what they would do.
I just stored it online. Thank you for that.
But it's believable. That's why I'm like,
I know.
He's doing DoorDash. There's a Newsweek article where they're like, rumors circulate on the internet that Donald Trump's McDonald's job was staged. And I was like, do they think that Trump applied at McDonald's and then showed up for work?
They're trying to...
No, go ahead.
I was going to say they're trying to kill him. So what do they think? He's just going to walk in there and be like, hey,
I know.
Serve some regular people?
Yeah, you don't. Anywhere with guns is bad. Even your own shrubs at your golf course.
Yeah. And then I saw a bunch of people being like, he pre-screened all the people who were getting food. And I'm like, yeah, because they just want to get shot.
Well, what is he supposed to do?
Yeah, like,
It's
duh.
ridiculous. Yeah. Well, so anyway, like, I'm all yesterday, like, I'm seeing this stuff and I'm revved up. And I'm like, well, I have family stuff to take care of. I can't, like, I'm spending time with my family. You know, I can't just do the show 7 days a week. There was one weekend where I was like, I think I'll do shows on the weekend.
You tried to.
And then, you know, my family doesn't get too happy about that.
I hear you.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
You got to be happy outside of work as well.
And I got responsibilities to other people too. So
yeah.
Well, you'll lose your sanity. So I mean, if you
no, I
want
to do the show.
you want to.
I feel like you want to do it, but you don't want to do it, right?
No, I want to come in the morning and complain.
Yeah.
And I mean complain in a somewhat self-deprecating way. What I mean is there are things that I think people should be aware of. And I also want to express how I feel about the current goings on. And it's a lot of people like watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the only reason I say this may be the last episode is that I have a bit of guilt of like the people who really are accustomed to and feel they need and that the world benefits from us doing the show.
Survivor's guilt.
Is that what it is?
I think that's a form of it.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying 100% by folks who are waiting for this. Like I still wait for the 10 a.m. If it's not there, then I'm like, what the F's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
this show's an accident too.
I mean,
this show's a complete accident. The show wasn't supposed to exist.
What happened?
The reason why it's called In Real Life is because I do my morning show, and then I was like, I can do my morning show from the road. So I went on Joe Rogan's show, and I told them all, you're nuts. I'm going to build a van and go live down by the river. And I was only half kidding. I told them I was only half kidding. I built a van with a computer, and a studio.
I think I remember that video you posting. You're like, you had a van in the background.
Yeah, it's on this channel.
It's a really nice van, by the way, folks.
What kind?
Not anymore.
I mean,
it's a
still,
Ford
Ecoline.
It's clean.
F-150 or something. Like
no, you're right. It's like an Ecoline.
Ecoline?
Yeah, and it's got it had
a candy van.
It's got the big top on it and everything. It's real nice.
It's got solar panels, external air conditioning, and or like secondary air conditioning.
Off-road tires too, because he loves the van or the river. I mean,
yeah.
Oh yeah,
you got good tires on it.
That's just because they said we can go premium the tires.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know anything about it. Actually, no. The first tires were small.
Oh, were they? Okay.
And someone told me like they're going to explode, and I was like, okay, I better upgrade them. But the original idea for In Real Life was after I finish the morning show, if I just go drive somewhere, I can set up and say morning show done. Shout out to everybody. I'm currently hanging out in Austin. And come hang out, and we're going to do Timcast In Real Life, where I just talk with random people.
Yeah.
I do remember that was one of the first things you talked about was like having like regular folk. Like I guess I might be the first regular folk on the job. Like you just get people plumbers once a week or something like that.
Well, the original plan was to sit down and sort of like change my mind, or what Charlie Kirk does.
Yeah.
Be like, who wants to sit down and just have a conversation? Mm-hmm. And literally be like, hey, today in the news was this. Like, hey, what do you think about what's going on? And I'll show you the stories. And it was just because I like talking to people, but because of COVID, we couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
I thought it was because of COVID was mainly the reason why you're doing that. Yeah.
Couldn't travel anymore. And I used to fly on two flights every week when I worked for these other companies. So like
during COVID, I just kept traveling, but it was very hard. Like you weren't supposed to, but it's like if you're short, you can just walk past people in the military and just keep moving.
They don't notice. They're looking up.
Yeah. I'll be like, I gotta pee. I'll be right back. They're like, yeah, he'll come back. He'll be afraid. And then I would just walk out the door. It's pretty good. I did an entire year in New York. Sorry if that's still a crime, I guess. But
yeah, we were in Jersey, and then
the virus might.
The show got very big.
Bad.
Yes, it did.
It got big, and then I was like, okay, well, I mean, maybe we'll do something like this. Like, don't stop now. I mean, we're on a roll.
Yeah,
there is some reality that I think I've talked about before, though. But I used to get on YouTube.com/Timcast the 4 p.m. video, a single half-an-hour video, would get anywhere from 300 to 500,000 views.
Right.
Your 4 p.m. was my favorite back in the day.
Yeah, and I never really did any legit ad reads. So like I'm talking like Daily Wire style ad reads.
I'll tell you, me neither, but that's just because not a great reader.
Well, if I did sell them, 500,000 could be like 10 to 15 grand.
Yeah.
For one read on one video. Imagine if I was getting that every single day. I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
And so then I had youtube.com/Timcast News. And between the two of them, it was like 3 to 4 million per day. And I think it was upwards of like 60, 70 million a month.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, and I will stress now, like a lot of these other channels are getting like 100 to 150 million, but those are including shorts, which is a lot easier to produce. So, but
you have a clips channel though.
For IRL,
Yeah,
the clips are on IRL.
yeah.
It's the same channel.
Yeah, same channel.
It is the same channel.
Yeah, same channel. Post later. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's pros and cons to that. It's tough. It's hard. It's like if the people are going to watch the show every night anyway, then they don't need a notification.
Yeah, ours is both where, you follow that algorithm, but then it doesn't know if you want to be a long show or a short show, and you can't figure out any of it.
Exactly.
But then doesn't it change too how when people are searching for the show, you get a clip, and they want the 20-minute version?
The 20-minute
version of you say you do clips, or maybe not IRL, but your morning shows or anything.
The morning
shorter
shows have
clips.
always been segments that I would just
Yeah.
upload throughout the day.
Yeah. That's
And
really fairly new.
what I was gonna say is when we started IRL, it cannibalized the morning show. So the morning show peaked at the 34th biggest podcast in the world, and when IRL launched, half the viewers stopped watching that and started going to the audio Timcast IRL show. And I said, no, I don't know. People probably like the conversation nature of it more than the monologuing show. Yeah. But same, So then now the Tim Pool morning show, Tim Pool Daily News show or whatever, is not in the top 200. Sometimes it jumps up to like 190, but then it falls off again. And Timcast IRL, I think, was recently like number 160 in the world. But that's audio side. YouTube side, we do get, it's a big show and we get a lot of views.
I'm 20,006.
Is that what your number is?
No.
Oh.
I'm guessing it's lower.
Yeah. But, so anyway, it's like, it comes to a point where it's like, now I'm working 16 hours a day for a diminishing return.
Right.
Whereas before I could have been getting 60, 70 million just doing a morning show, being done with work by 4 p.m., being able to do family stuff, plan investments, maybe work on skateboard videos. If I wasn't doing, and so IRL is basically a diminishing return where now there's just 15 Tim Pool videos going up every single day and only so many Tim Pool fans. Mm-hmm. So it's like if I consolidated it down, would we get 40% of the IRL viewership to just watch the morning show again? And is IRL just cannibalizing? Would we lose? How much would we lose? I don't know. But the issue is the Tim Pool morning show requires 0 employees, 0 management. It requires nothing. I'm not going to deal with lawsuits. Yep. I'm not going to deal with security issues. Literally just wake up, handle all by myself, and run a successful show. I wouldn't have to rely on members to sustain the staff required to do a show like this or anything,
Have you been sued a lot?
Yes.
I would assume, yeah. Not as a negative, I just assume.
And I'll tell you, like, what the problem I have with it is, I think, without I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but I just don't think anybody cares when I say that I had to write a check for 30 grand because someone here fucked up, and then it's just like, keep calm and carry on, not my fault. And I'm like, yo, I'm paying myself less than my morning show makes. If I just did my morning show, I'm putting more money in my pocket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The company has a profit. That profit stays in the company. At the end of the year, the profit stays there so that we can make sure that there's a buffer. So the company makes money. At the end of the year, there's some profit. It will go to me automatically. And then I try to make sure there's money aside so that everyone gets paid. But I do kind of feel like we're at the point where it's and end it all except for, so there's the reason why I say it may be the last is we had a conversation today, Allison and I, about what's the most effective means of managing the issue. And it's, okay, maybe what we do is we end 70%. We would keep Timcast IRL, a skeleton crew to have it operate, the morning show, and the boonies. We'd have one single secondary investment outside of the shows.
Right.
And that would allow me more time to be hands-on to make sure that it operates properly. But that's more so just like, yeah, but doing that is still trying to justify why we have to keep working as hard as possible.
Is your property more for your crew or because it's something you wanted?
Doing the Freedomistan Boonies show.
Oh, that stuff, yeah.
It's what I wanted.
Okay.
And it's like, there's actually several big components to it. Skateboarding is dead.
It's fun.
The skateboard industry collapsed.
Yeah, oh, for sure it did.
And
I used to be a poser, thank you.
Oh, that's, well, you tried.
Well, I would just get high and then I would watch my friends skateboard. I had a Cheech and Chong board for a minute.
What year was that, 91?
96.
That's when I was born back in the day.
Yeah, so, I love skateboarding.
I did
and,
too. Well, not really.
We've got you know, some of our buddies are some, you know, big pros and they love skateboarding.
Yeah, they're
and
awesome.
everyone's like, I've talked to some of the biggest guys in the industry, and they're like, skateboarding is dead.
My
some
son
of the biggest,
loves it.
some of the biggest shoe companies are collapsing,
Yeah.
and that's the heart and soul of the skateboard industry. Is
Yeah,
like
they're
skate
comfy.
shoes.
Yeah, like
DCs
Vans
are
and DCs and all
DCs
that.
are so.
Well,
It's like New Balance and stuff now as well.
New Balance.
Yeah.
A lot of
Vans is
Vans,
fine
Nike,
because
Nike
Vans is an urban generic.
Yeah.
yeah,
like
anybody
Vans
will wear
have
those.
become like you can get them at Kohl's. You know,
Yeah,
they still make DCs though.
yeah. DC's fine. Like
Yeah.
mall brands are fine.
Yeah.
But there were core brands.
Like,
I think Soul Tech was one of them, and they sold
Soul
recently.
Tech is gone. Yeah, my booker used to work there, and then there's also what was it? Echo.
Echo, I remember Echo.
Is that-
Etnies.
is that
Didn't-
gone?
Didn't-
Etnies was the one.
Etnies was Soul
one?
Tech. Was that Soul Tech?
That might have been part of Soul Tech.
Right. Soul Tech sold somewhere.
because there's World Industries. Is that still around?
That's not a shoe company though. That's
oh, they never made shoes.
oh no, actually, I
I
think
thought they
did start
made
making
shoes for a minute. Yeah,
Hmm.
because they made cargo pants and stuff for a second. I skated a long time ago.
Well, skateboarding.
Well, fake skated.
skateboarding's
so it's dead.
I got high
consolidating
with
as the
skaters.
money evaporates.
Okay. Yeah.
People, and it's because you're not getting kids to skate. And so part of it was like, well, I want to skate, but we want skateboarding to persist. We want young people to skate. We want kids to be inspired to skate. We want to cheer for that kid who lands his first kickflip.
Yeah.
A lot of world firsts have been accomplished in the past couple of months.
Yeah.
I think it was Guy Curry who landed the kickflip body varial 900?
That name sounds familiar because I heard
Might
you
have
talk
been.
about it, so I'm not sure.
I think it was
Pose
Geek.
and be like, yeah.
But it's just
Totally.
it's like a tremendous feat. But the industry is dead, and so there's two things: there's my passion, and there's the opportunity. Skateboarding is in the Olympics, so there's going to be investment. But likely, what's going to happen is
You have
it's
an
going.
Olympian in your house right now.
Indeed,
Yeah.
Really?
we do.
Yeah,
Yes.
for real. Yeah, I was talking
Yeah.
to her.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But if the Olympics comes in 2028 and everyone just backs off, it's going to get picked up by like the equivalent of a tobacco company, like a nameless guy in a suit who's like, skateboarders should be wearing unitards, and that's where we're headed.
I think if Marlboro buys it, though, there's a chance it might thrive again.
The Cowboys.
Actually, to be fair,
Yeah.
I don't know, but they're under a lot of regulations. So.
Yeah, they are. That's true. But I mean, with
They're
skating,
gonna
they-
bring the I warned a bunch of
the
skaters. I
Marlboro
was
miles,
like,
you can get trucks and wheels.
dude, I'm like, look at gymnastics.
Yeah.
Do you see them wearing cargo pants?
I'm not allowed to watch them.
No.
Yeah, it's
The
this
men?
whole thing.
So you think they're gonna take
yeah, I'm not allowed to watch men's
the
gymnastics.
leotards over baggy?
Yep. Hands
nice
down, no
clothes?
question.
Dude, that's
with,
how they move that way?
with custom, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a onesie where the shoes are attached like booties.
Oh,
Dude,
my
this
Lord.
is almost exactly what happened in skiing. Like almost
Right.
like hand in hand. It's like hand in glove. It's exactly what happened in skiing. Like they said, oh, it's not going to be all like regimented. It's not going to be all serious. But
Yeah.
then suddenly the FIS is like, well, you got to tell us what trick you're doing on the first mogul jump and the second mogul jump. And if you don't tell us exactly and do that exact trick, so all the creativity is gone. There's nothing. There's no more. The sport's going to become like
Yep.
like Tim's saying, like a target sport.
That's
It,
brutal.
it'll be a target sport in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So I've talked to some pros and they're like, nah, I don't know about that. Like people aren't going to want to do it. I'm like, I'm telling you, when China says we want to win and we don't give a crap what you're wearing, they're going to force their team to put on onesies because it's beneficial.
Aerodynamic. Yep.
Yeah, if people jam hot dogs down their throat for competition, skateboarding still has a fighting chance. I believe that.
Yeah, I hear you, but
Like my son loves it, and I know his friends are starting to love it. I mean, he's
it's
9,
it's
so
not
that's
going
a
anywhere.
generation, you know.
it's just right now the industry is, yeah, it might turn into a target sport. Like
Yeah,
who's quitting
which you're
skiing?
right.
Who's quitting skiing?
Yeah,
Right? You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
skiing's
I
got
did, but I quit a lot of things.
that's unfortunate.
No,
But
I did
that-
ski.
that's
I
why-
fell down a hill on my face, and it looked like 20 guys beat the crap out of me.
No, that is not.
It was not it was softer snow, and my ski got stuck in a mogul, and then I just went down the hill like a Chevy Chase fall. And I just woke up at the bottom. Oh, I didn't wake up. I woke up in the hospital. But yeah, after
geez.
that, I was like, I don't want to ski.
It's a true story.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, dude. I was like just bloody. It looked like somebody had just beaten the crap out of me, but it was just my ski got stuck in a mogul.
And you flipped forward.
Yeah, dude.
Oof.
It was
Wait,
a
wait,
Pine
wait.
Knob in Michigan.
Were you going down moguls?
I was going down the Black Diamond because I decided
Black Diamond moguls?
Yeah, because I thought I'd
you
follow.
professional?
No, and that's my brother and my friend Dean decided to do it, and I was like, me too. And then my ski got stuck, and then I seriously went down every mogul on my face.
I think I went skiing for the second time, and I was struggling to go down to green diamonds.
Yeah, it's not easy.
I mean, not green circle. Sorry.
Like
I-
I'll bunny hill it now.
I disagree though. Like on a snowboard, I can go down. I've gone down a double black diamond on a snowboard in fresh powder. That's kind of easier.
Yeah, that's totally.
I've done some snowboarding, but I'm not good at it.
Snowboarding, I can actually get
I
around
mean, I
pretty
guess
well.
if I tried.
Like Alice and I went snowboarding, and I was we were going down the intermediates.
Blue Square.
Yeah, just over and over and over again and doing
That's
little
fun.
jumps and going through the park and doing little jumps and stuff. Because like I've been skateboarding, so snowboarding seemed like the first thing to do.
Everybody I knew who skated snowboarding.
But I think skiing's easier.
it is easier.
Skiing is easier, but does snowboarding translate from
No.
skateboarding?
No, definitely
doesn't.
not. Because like skiing, you have like fall line, your body going this. Snowboarding, you're turning your whole body towards the slope. So
Yeah, I
really
don't-
facing the slope sometimes.
And I feel like on skis you don't catch an edge as often.
Yeah, I smashed my head a couple times when I first tried snowboarding, like literally. Down.
You don't see a lot of
So
old
happy I was wearing a
people,
helmet.
Yeah, snowboarding either. Like I have 4 rods in my knee. I'm not going to go near a snowboard.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even from that accident. That was just slipping on keg beer.
So to bring this all the way back, because we're off on a tangent, that's why I wanted to do Cast Castle, Freedomistan, the Boonies,
Gotcha.
is to build culture. And it's like, damn, I'm just kind of like, after 4 years, maybe we just can't do it. Like, no amount of money is going to make it possible. If you don't have the people who want to do it and nobody wants to do it, like, I feel like the reality is just skateboarding is dead. You need that person who every day wakes up and says, I just want to go film a video. And then they do it. But I don't know that exists. The people who can do it have their own channels and they're making a modest living doing it. And it's not going to go beyond that because they're like, why would I do anything else? So what we usually end up with is, oh, this guy's got a channel. Maybe he wants to grow and will invest. And they're like, no, I make money. I don't need to do it.
Right.
And that's a lot of things. We've for the shows that we've launched, obviously before we launched them, we reached out to other people who are already doing shows and said, hey, we could invest in this and help you grow it. And then the deal we would work is kind of like a record label deal. Like we'll get a small percentage and then but you control everything and we'll advertise it for you. No, not interested. No, we don't need it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that, though.
Yeah, is
I
that
would.
recently? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that recently because it's like I could see that being 2 years ago, maybe not 1 year, but like modern world with how big IRL is and the Timcast brand, they still like, no, we're good.
No,
on our
no,
own.
absolutely not. Yeah. And I mean, I was talking about this a long time ago when I was talking 2 years ago. I was talking. The Daily Wire made a pitch like, hey, and I'm like, I got a company with 20 employees and we make 8 figures. Like,
Oh, I remember that. That was
Yeah,
like
I'm
right
like-
when I came on.
Those guys are great.
Yeah.
I respect their honesty in business. It's maybe it's because they're Christians or not all of them, but
Well, not all of them. One's pretty much
one's a
not
Jewish.
at all.
but in terms of
serious
like
about
the people that I negotiated
Yeah.
with, I'm like maybe it's just they have scruples and they believe in something else beyond them. They don't want to be evil.
No,
Not that they're perfect
agree.
and there are people who do not like them, so that's fair. But
Yeah.
but that was basically the issue back then. It's like I got a company, I can do whatever I want. Why do a deal with you and then
True.
you can do it?
True.
But I think that's the challenge with growing something that rivals, say, like Disney. So if you look at the way the left operates today, especially, is they're a what do we call them, like a hive of wasps or a fire.
Yeah.
There's not. I mean,
Yeah. No, a flu. I mean, whatever you want to call it.
but like look at how they operate. They march in lockstep with each other.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
It's a swarm
Yeah.
that it accomplishes what it does through swarm hive ideology. The movies are bad.
Yes.
They're bombing. Nobody wants to see them. But everybody marches in lockstep, agreeing with each other all the way down.
It's crazy.
But I think the problem is what are we delivering on the right? That's what I'm trying to do with sketch. That's what I'm trying to do with film. Like we're not making things that are bad. Like
We just complain.
Yeah, and I mean I just put up a
good at it.
movie that I made called The King, and it did really well. I pulled it off in 24 hours. I was surprised how many people liked it because that was my own nerves. But still, like I don't think we're putting out stuff that's necessarily relatable on the right, and we're putting out stuff that people are dying to see. I think a lot of it misses the
Yeah.
mark. I mean, that's the reality. I mean,
Well-
if we actually want to rival with something like Disney, I mean, I think you have to put forward actual stories people want to watch without agenda. And I
Well,
think
here-
the problem is there's always an agenda.
The opportunity. That's why I think.
That's what the
Am I
left
Racist?
sucks.
I think Am I Racist did well, and my praise for it is because
Yes, it was good.
but it was barely political. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it appeals to like normal people.
I
think that's the
often
thing,
bring
yeah.
up the slapstick that was in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
The
Exactly.
Sit up in the glasses.
The title was polarizing.
Putting the
to
butter
get-
on the
yeah. The title was
great.
polarizing to get it, and that's what I liked about it was it didn't go in the route that I thought it would.
Yeah. There's a scene where Matt is serving these anti-racists and he's trying to put butter on their plate and she's like pushing him away to not do it and he just reaches over and does it anyway. Like
Chivalry.
right. He drops the plates on the ground. There are a lot of jokes that are not. It's not like I would say the movie's not politics. It's actually It's satirically exploring their own worldview.
Sure.
So you don't need to give a message other than let's do it and let it be itself.
That's what I mean. I think if you're just being yourself and you're putting that out there, that's a lot more quality because everything else operating out of that side is agenda driven.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous how
all of
bad
it.
stuff has become.
But like, it's also like a standalone complex. Like they do that on their own. Is what Tim is trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, they just do it because they just have like this pre-programmed thing. They know how to achieve whatever they're trying to achieve. They don't really realize what it is. They don't maybe not actually Marxist, but they're being controlled with people that may know more about it. They don't know.
Sure.
Here are a few good examples that I would consider the quote unquote right, despite not really. Ryan Long and Andrew Schultz.
Absolutely, great, dude. Yeah.
That I wouldn't call them political.
No.
They do things because they want to do it. And they do it for themselves, and they run their own companies. Wasn't Andrew's story that like he sold to Netflix and then bought it back, or who was that?
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah, he sold to Amazon.
I thought it was
bought
Netflix.
back. You know, it was
Okay.
Amazon. That was his new special. He did have a Netflix special, but that wasn't the issue.
That wasn't the one.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, he bought it back for $1 million and put it out himself.
Yeah, and then
it
it
was
like
huge.
yeah. And so
And yeah, Ryan's a good friend of mine. He's done sketches for us, and he's just somebody who he's making fun of the current culture.
Yeah, whatever's funny.
Even like Rogan, all those
Yeah.
guys who aren't right wing, they just
Exactly.
put up stuff, but they're suddenly right all of a sudden.
Right.
So anyway,
Yeah.
you know, my mentality right now is like, if I were to do my morning show, and then either for like the members that want to stick around, do like a 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. members hangout where we do like the members only show Q&A. Not only that, but if I did the morning show, and then depending on how I want to run it, setting a time. So it's if I recorded a handful of segments early in the morning,
Yeah.
and then from like 1 to 2 did some kind of interview show like IRL, which was much simpler, and then record a couple more segments, I could be done by 4 and not going to bed at 11. So the schedule for IRL also makes it very difficult. The other challenges that we have is travel, booking. Like the morning show doesn't have any of these requirements, and we don't do Zoom, and Zoom is not good.
No, it sucks.
No, it's
Yeah.
terrible.
And everybody's like, do the Zoom interviews, and it's like,
Those are terrible.
yeah, it's gonna suck when that takes over, but it will, because this is a component of automation where it's like, it's not literal automation, but if you go to a business and you say, we're gonna do a show with these really great in-person conversations, it's gonna cost us, you know, X amount per year. Then someone else says, I'll do the same show with the same guests, but 0 travel and accommodation costs, no ancillary staff for accommodating guests, because we'll do it digitally. I tell you every time what the business is going to choose.
Yeah, true.
Exactly.
and
And that's
then-
why quality fails.
But the problem is when you
Not
put
you, I'm
two
just saying
businesses to
it's
compete with
hard.
each other, and one tries to be in person and one is digital, digital will win every time.
Of course.
Because even though the quality is lesser, the output will be more, and they'll bury you.
Yep.
So they can be like, I can interview a celebrity tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, we can't. They'll say like, I don't know when I'll be able to make it out there. I don't know if I'm going to.
You gotta fly
So-
in and all that baloney. Okay.
Let's say we want to get Jordan Peterson on the show, and we've talked to him, and he's like, I'd like to come out at this time. Maybe we'll figure it out. If we had Zoom, he'd be like, oh, I can Zoom tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so these other people who want to hear that, it's not as good.
You hear that? That was a good voice.
Spot on.
That's so funny.
Didn't mean to laugh, but yeah.
You know what I'll do? We'll have the cameras give out, and then I'll do all the voices, and I'll be like, Trump and Jordan Peterson are here right now with me. It's live in person. Trust me.
You bring back
Yeah.
Fauci.
Just have 2 impersonators all the time.
I made that joke with Seamus before. I was like, let's just do like an audio podcast, and we'll do the best show ever, and Seamus will just do the voices.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I've been thinking about. Like, if I were to do what I just described, it requires 0 staff.
I would actually like to listen to a show where you're just interviewing people pretending to be that person.
That actually would be a
But
good show
take
for
it-
you.
Take it seriously the whole time, though. Like, never let it break. It is that person.
That actually is a good idea for a funny show.
I would do it.
You should do it.
I do in a heartbeat. Just
Like-
interview people that are pretend, and then I won't
who,
know.
Tyler
No,
Fisher.
Oh, I love Tyler.
Have him do Trump and then interview him as if he's Trump.
Yeah, and he's just sitting there in his beard.
Yeah, I know.
not even noticing.
That would be pretty fun. It would be like Between Two Ferns or whatever. You know? You
Yeah.
could do something like that.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
But do you enjoy IRL? You enjoy it, right? You like
Yeah,
talking
it's
and having
just
a good
heavy.
time.
It's a very heavy object. You know, the time
It's a lot of
slot
moving
is
parts.
extremely heavy.
Yep.
Yeah.
The I mean, like, it's a funny thing. Like, our speakers, we have no idea why, but a channel has been missing from them. And even on the new machine, for some reason, a channel is missing. So it's like we were playing 2 weeks
I
from
don't know
all
what
that.
that means, by the way, guys. But
So
yeah.
I'll explain. We played 2 weeks from All That Remains, and the song, the first 30 seconds of the song is just a snare drum going. Because the song starts with guitar,
Yeah.
but the channel is missing, so it's not there.
Oh, so you're just hearing the bass?
You just you only hear the snare drum and nothing else.
That's it? Oh, God.
Yeah. And we're like, well, we
Phil
can't
puts out
figure
great
out
music.
Yeah,
that's great
some
stuff.
kind of cancellation is coming in where
It's like Yoko Ono, though. I mean, there's a market.
it may be that the sound is doubling up.
Yeah.
I'm not a sound engineer, but they could be canceling themselves out.
I think it's just the output matrix. I looked into it enough, like in the last 2 or 3 days.
That's the other thing too. It's like we've tried doing. There's a bunch of stuff we want to do with road shows. It's so incredibly difficult to do.
Yeah.
I love those, but yeah, it's very hard to get everybody together to do one thing.
Super expensive.
Yeah.
We weren't able to get our election show going, so we've been planning for a year. Like, this is the 2024 election. We need to have a big show up and running. And then if I'm not doing it, it doesn't happen. That's actually here. I can explain everything. If I don't do it, it doesn't happen.
Can I talk back on this? I don't have anything to do with the technical terminology. I only know what I can do. But hearing you as myself, who's, I used to super chat in like, Tim, you want to put a fucking TV?
I already swore. It's whatever.
You already want to put up, you want to put up a
earlier.
TV? I'll come down because I'm only 2 hours away. I'll put the TV up for you. I don't get that aspect. Like,
When did we want to put? We got the big screen up at Freedom right now.
Yeah.
When did we first plan that?
it was beginning of July because we wanted it, or June, beginning of June.
It's been 4 months
Yeah. Well,
To get a TV.
to be honest with
to
you,
get a projector screen installed on the wall.
but
What?
hold on.
I'll do it.
Yeah, but it's already done. But the thing was, I got to make some tweaks. But the
gotcha.
thing was, like, I gave the information out to the managerial people.
Hey,
I'm just saying,
I
that's
know.
just how it was. And then 2 months later, we're on IRL Live. You're like, it's not up yet. You haven't ordered it? I'm like, no, sir, because I don't have no say in that matter.
And then
we got it. It was been up. We got it, and it was up in 3 days after we got it.
but what about the speakers?
I don't. Nobody told me
This
about that.
this is just a thing. Like
Nobody. I would do it.
The
the
lifting
graph for
required to make everything happen is like
yeah.
I have to go with a clipboard and be like, mush.
Well, put Raymond in charge, and you won't have to say mush anymore.
With all due respect though, I don't
didn't
think,
know- no,
and it's not personal.
Yeah.
I just think everyone feels that they could, and then they can't.
I've done it. It's my history. It's my job
also
history.
feels personal
So you don't know my job history.
It feels personal.
yeah.
It's you,
Yeah,
Raymond.
yeah. No, but you don't.
not
you just think I'm a fan. You don't know my previous jobs or what I've done in my life.
No, I believe you.
So
I'm just saying, like, you wanted to get it done, and
Yeah.
you handed off the paperwork, and then didn't know what happened next.
Yeah, I waited.
Exactly.
And then
It
got
doesn't
done.
matter if you're in charge of it or not. That happens unless I, with executive authority, go
Say,
around
okay.
to everybody and say, "Round it up." Raymond said, "Buy the screen. Buy the screen."
Which is why you said there has to be someone that's like CEO.
Yeah, that's why you
versus
need
someone like
some
yourself.
managerial position, like you were saying, like just exactly like you're saying, Tim. You
Yeah,
need
that's-
someone
yeah.
in that spot
Need a CEO.
who could be
Yeah.
who could be your second
Yep.
Well,
or third or however. I don't know how the structure here works exactly.
that's the issue. Then becomes the. So usually, what happens for most companies like this is they'll take on strategic investment, and then a guy in a suit shows up, and that's exactly what we're talking about. And then everyone says, "Wow, this company used to be fun," and it's like, "Welcome to the real world." We could go that route, I suppose, but I don't know.
You have to enjoy what you're doing. Like if I'm making film or you're making, if you're making,
I enjoy doing this.
You're skating, you enjoy doing this, but yeah, I mean, there has to be a passion behind it. I think it's not so much that it used to be fun. It's just like you have to enjoy what you're doing. If they're not enjoying what they're doing, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that would. I mean, he does.
Yeah.
It seems, and it's like it's not.
I love my job.
Yeah, I mean, there are people
it's
out
just,
there that are that hungry and they want it. But people do get very complacent, I'll say, when they think
a lot of that.
Well, especially
Very
if
true.
you're trying to be a nice guy, you're trying to run a company, then you can get walked on, and then you let one thing slide, you might let another thing slide. That's not on you. I do the same thing, and then eventually it snowballs, and then I'm like, okay, this is bad.
One of the challenges is
I'm saying it's not that it's not fun. It's that,
what I was saying is it's like if everyone's doing 90% capacity, that's pretty dang good.
Yes,
but
it
that
is.
means 10% has to be for every 10% failure, it has to be picked up by me or Allison, and we can't. So we can sell. You know what I mean? I can be like, oh, you guys want to keep IRL around? Okay, well, who can I sell to?
I'm sure people would buy it,
Maybe.
but
maybe.
Do you want that?
I would.
Because now you have a boss.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like right
Would he
now
be
you're.
this boss?
That's
You would be
yes with a
boss?
but.
Yeah, like,
High profile people and talent are known for their problematic behaviors for that reason.
Thank you. I'm blushing.
Right. You know what I mean? So it's like at a certain level, there's a person who's your boss, but they know that there's a difference between an employee who says, we're going to fire you, and a talent who says, we need you to stop sticking gun under the table during the show.
Right.
And then how do we manage the talent? And so it's really a cooperative effort at the highest levels.
Of course.
So if I sold the show to somebody, it's, hey, I want you guys to run this, and we'll make this the best show and the biggest show ever, and we'll keep it going. That would be absolutely fantastic. And we're gonna compromise with each other on that regard. And that's it's a mutual respect for the person who runs a business and the person who runs a big successful show and makes it possible.
Right.
You know, as for like, you know, some employee shows up and takes a dump on the floor, they say, get out, you're fired.
Right.
One of the challenges.
Depending.
I hear a lot of like, well, you got to get managers to go in there and start telling people like, do it or else. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to work at a company, or maybe it's just not possible to have a company where people are motivated by fear and don't want to be there. I don't want that.
That's the worst kind of leadership. You don't.
But
want,
I think
you don't
that's
want
all
whoever's
companies.
No. You don't have to do. But well, I guess it's always fear of getting fired. But
I mean, Hitler
you
was
have a
pretty
good leader.
successful.
Leads from the front.
People love that guy.
I mean,
that was
really,
scary.
yeah.
They don't,
No, but I mean, like
they
the
don't lead
people
from
who,
threatening.
the Nazis terrifyingly worshipped a guy who was
Yeah.
out of his.
Well,
mean-
good thing we're not Germany and Nazi people.
Well,
So you're saying that I should cultify
yeah.
and
I'm saying you could learn a little from Hitler. You don't have to take all of it. Like
only, not
yeah.
the bad stuff?
just the business acumen.
Oh, sure.
And maybe the meth if you're working 16-hour days.
yeah, he was tweaking out, wasn't
Oh,
he?
I
all
heard
the
about
time.
that.
Oh, they were on everything because everything was just legal in Germany. You just go to the store.
Well,
and be
I think it was
"I'll
like they had it was recently discovered.
Yes.
And so they're like, look
They're
at this
like
thing that
brand
makes me
new
feel
thing?
good.
Yeah.
They're doing crazy drills.
yeah, acid and all that
And it's
stuff.
the first time anyone's ever done it, and they're just okay. That's
they're like,
Yeah, there's
Oh,
like a video of
this
him
is-
tweaking and he's like shaking back and forth or
It's
something.
like this. You know what I should do? I should kill a bunch. You know. So it's
Well, when you're on drugs and your brain is fried, you know.
yeah, you really don't know where to go, and then you're like, they're all listening to me now. I used to be a
I'm
painter.
somebody, Mom.
Look at all
Look
this
at me.
confidence I
I used to
have.
be a painter. I know of companies that were. Well, I'll just say it. I mean, Vice was called a cult.
Yeah.
The people there really didn't know what was going on outside. It was kind of wild. So I'll tell you a story. They so I left, and a buddy
Were
of
you
mine.
under Gavin?
No.
He
I
was gone by that point.
Yeah, he was
right?
gone. Shane Sarouche and Eddie were in charge when I was
Okay.
there. And nice guys, you know. Shane's a real nice guy, but I guess things didn't go very well for how he was running the show. But actually, I shouldn't speak. I mean, he's got a new podcast. He's probably still rich, so good for him. But what was I going to say? I totally forgot what I was going to talk about.
about
Oh,
Nazis?
the cult, right? Yeah,
the cult.
No, the cult. So when I left, a buddy of mine was like, he's like, I read the news every day, and so my buddy's like, I'm like, hey, how's it going, man? How are things over there? And I got him the job actually, and he's like, it's really great. I'm super excited. I'm going to be the lead for the news show on our new cable channel. Because then I'm like, oh yeah, I heard that you guys got a cable channel. It's really cool. I was like, so are you going to move to Toronto? And he goes, what? And I said, you're going to be the news producer on the cable TV news show? He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, are you going to move to Toronto? And he goes, no, why would I move to Toronto? And I was like, because it's a Canadian cable channel.
Right.
And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, bro, it was a Rogers Telecom deal. This was before Viceland. I was like, they got a cable channel deal in Canada. And he was like, what? And I was like, I'm totally lost, bro. Did you not know that? And he's like, they just said we got a cable channel. And I was like, so what happened? And the story that I was told is that Shane has a State of the Union meeting and he orders pizzas for everybody. And there's like this big room, everyone's hanging out. And it's fun because I had been at one. And he grabs the mic and he says, we did it. We got our cable channel. And they all cheer. And he didn't say.
He didn't say Canada?
He didn't say Canadian cable channel. And then
I'm sorry. It's just
That is funny.
It's hilarious.
masterfully done. How
Yeah,
about that?
yeah.
And so here's my buddy
You've heard of the
thinking that he's going to be
CBC.
on cable TV in the United States. And it's like, bro, you got 30 million households up in Canada.
Yeah.
Good. Like, I wasn't ragging on him. You know, I was just like, oh, congratulations. That sounds really cool. Like, are you going to move to Toronto? And then he was just like, so
But just
Vice-
seems you should be more specific. If it's just Toronto,
And that's the whole I'm buying pizza for you
Well,
and everyone.
there
analogy.
was an
'cause
article
all you
written.
can afford is pizza. It's a Canadian TV deal.
That's right. There was an article written about Vice where it said it's a cult, that people were willing to work there for free. Just to be
Really?
there. Yeah. And they had a bunch of interns that effectively worked there for free. And then the Supreme Court issued the ruling you can't have interns work for free. They have to be paid, at least minimum wage. And then that changed everything for them a lot. So the thing about New York media is that the people who work in these news organizations, you might be wondering why they're all elitist, snooty liberals. It's because in order to get a job at the New York Times, you have to be able to work for free. You want to get a job at the New York Times, you intern there. Interning now is going to be like, let's say this. Let's say the New York Times entry-level position is still only going to pay $48,000 or $50,000 in New York City.
Which is impossible.
Nothing, yeah.
Unless your parents are rich.
Well, yeah, which is a lot.
And
of
then
them.
if you come from a rich family and your family says, my daughter will be working at the New York Times.
Yeah.
Honey, we'll pay, your trust fund is fine. We'll keep it replenished and we'll pay for your condo.
Mm-hmm.
And then you end up with a lot of well-to-do liberals
Yeah.
whose parents pay so they get a job at the New York Times.
Yeah, and they've never experienced pain or anything in their life, and then they
Right.
just are able to, kiss up and continue the very, very exciting New York Times.
That's right. And you end up with a media apparatus in this country that is comprised of woke elitists.
Yeah, which is what it has been. I mean, that really is what New York is in general. I mean, there's a lot of the comics, too, where it's like, well, of course this person doesn't work the road or try that hard. They have a trust fund. This is just something. Their parents are like, hey, just don't OD. That'll be great. Because most of our family, we're just so rich we OD. That's all we do.
And that's the crazy thing, too, because we talked about this a little bit before the show. I've complained about it a lot. Like, what do all these rich people do with their money?
Drugs a lot, but I mean, right now, I don't know what they're investing in.
Elon Musk is giving $1 million to people to be spokespeople persons for his for the Save America
I
PAC or
saw
whatever.
that. I keep entering.
You've registered to vote in Pennsylvania.
No.
So
Well,
I guess
Michigan, I'm wondering if you do it because that's a swing state.
I don't know what the deal is other than he said
Supposedly.
that if you're a registered voter who signed his petition and you're in Pennsylvania, you could be selected to receive $1 million.
Yes.
And the left is saying it's illegal. It's what Elon is doing is hiring people as contract spokespersons for the PAC. The reason to sign a petition is he wants to know you believe in free speech and you'll stand for this.
I saw that.
Then he's going to pay you to be a regular American who's promoting these values.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any legal challenge with that. I'm sure he talked to his lawyers about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, chances are he's got a few good ones on staff, being the richest man on earth. Yeah, I think he's
Just a
doing
couple of
fine.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's the question I have is like, there's a lot of people I know who, especially they do big shows, like, what are they doing with their money?
I don't know. I would retire. I just wasn't responsible with it for a while.
I don't think retirement is real.
No, I don't think it is anymore.
I know.
Well,
Well,
I don't-
If you
I
care
don't-
about the country, you're not going to retire.
Right.
Well,
I
I care more about
retire
me.
retire. I think of the word retire, I see a white blank space.
People that retire end up dying like 5 or 6 years later because
That's
they
true.
lost all their purpose in life. They have nothing
Yeah.
else to live
We can
for. People need something to live for, man.
Yes.
You need
Yeah,
to-
that's true.
Need a purpose.
Yeah, I don't
What
really want to
do you do all
retire.
day? What do people do
Exactly.
all day?
I
don't
can't
know.
imagine sitting around and like watching TV or just going on
I mean-
going on a boat or something. I can see that, or shooting
Yeah.
guns, or going on a quad, or having. I could kind of.
Depression keeps me in bed till 5 anyway.
Well, there you go. I guess.
See, but
No, see that's the thing.
But
Like,
once I get out and I decide to not unalive myself, I'm a real go-getter.
I'm getting up every day and
Thank
saying, how can I do more? What am I
Yeah.
not doing effectively?
Of course.
Sure.
And at a certain point,
Yeah.
I'm Sisyphus pushing up a rock with a bunch of people sitting on it.
Yeah, because they don't have that same attitude. They don't have that same passion.
And I'm
There's
not
a
trying to
reason why
disrespect
it's
people
you
sitting
or
on the
you.
rock. You know.
Well, yeah, if they're sitting on the rock, you want to.
Yeah, you want them
should let
to.
them know.
They should at least tell you where the rock's going, or maybe they're
Yeah.
not pushing it, but they should do
There
something.
is a hill if you keep going.
Yeah, they
and I'm
should-
like, that's not true because
Yeah.
I'm Sisyphus. and
Yeah,
the rock
that's a
keeps-
fine push.
Tim, you
Tim.
had this issue like a year ago, I think, because I remember I super chatted like, "Yo, you're not the only one pushing up the hill," because I was just a fan at the time. Now that I'm here in person, but yeah, I guess it's been an overlaying concept in your brain for a minute now.
I think that we as a company lack the talent and managerial capabilities to maintain this show. That's it. It's real simple. Like if the studio's been failing, so 2 years we can't get a coffee shop built.
That doesn't do the
There's
show
no-
though.
No, it's
Zero
a
to the show.
company.
Okay,
and
yeah,
then we have to just.
yeah.
So that's why I was saying one of the options was Skeleton Crew, Timcast IRL, and wind it all down.
But you got a skate park.
Indeed, and that's why it's like, well, I don't know what to do with it.
You could sell coffee.
I do sell coffee. Coffee sales are really good.
Yeah.
People buy coffee a lot.
But you mean
Coffee's
like
great.
the actual brick and mortar is what you want.
Oh, right.
Like,
we
I'm serious.
sell
Yeah,
coffee
like-
through the show. Casper.
I know that, but like, are you
valuable.
referring to like an actual? You just mean a
We have a
brick and
building.
Yeah,
mortar
we have an
shop.
old school historic building in Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Yeah,
which
that's
has
what I'm
been a
wondering.
pain in the ass.
It's been unable to set up. We've gone
Okay.
through so many contractors who've ripped us off.
Oh yeah,
it's-
they're good at that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's just
Also, supplies are what 4 times now what they were just a couple years ago.
It's crazy.
it's getting crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the simple way to put it is we lack the talent and managerial capability to maintain this show. It exists along with all the other projects, only succeed if I'm the one directly in charge of it. So I come in. We've got 2 people who do booking. We've got 2 people who drive guests, and IRL functions. Our studio has been failing. We built a new studio, and the computer's been failing consistently over the past few weeks, and we lack the capability to have anybody with. There's no initiative, nor interest, nor talent to complete the job to make sure the studio operates. If that's where we're currently at, I've got to just shut it all down, because that's like, if I can't film myself, I don't have a company.
Right.
And
You
so
got nothing.
if I rely on other people to run these things, and I wake up in the morning and I can't complain about the Democrats insulting Donald Trump working at McDonald's,
Yeah.
I'm sitting here being like, I'm looking at all of these posts and people are saying things, and I'm like, no, you got that wrong because this article says this. Like, I can tweet about it.
That's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
No.
And so then I'm like, okay, should I go right now and just build a new studio? I've got computers and microphones. I could just do it myself. And I'm like, well, we're not doing IRL if that's the case.
Right.
There's no way I'm going to, and I can't do boonies if that's the case. So none of this is going to, none of this exists. And it's like, you know, we had the Cartier family on. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were.
On
They were
Friday.
fun.
That was great.
Computer
They were
crashed
fantastic.
midstream. Computer crashed right in the middle of the show.
Wait, I missed that. I heard
Yeah,
about it
shut down for
afterwards.
15 minutes. And I'm just like, that's amazing. Like, we've got we got a decent company here with a lot of employees, and we've consistently been like, the studio's failing. And
Which
then it
one's
just,
Cartier?
Cartier.
Cartier.
Yeah, it's these 4 black dudes who were like doing reaction videos.
I saw that. Okay, I saw that.
now they're
one.
Trump supporters.
Yep.
Those guys are
They're really
super
cool.
awesome.
They hung
Yeah,
out
that
all
was a
day.
good
They're
episode. Yeah, I
super,
saw
super
that.
cool guys.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
that was the name of the family.
And like,
I thought of a Blood Diamond company for some reason. And then-
Cartier?
no, that's the watch. Cartier.
Oh,
the watch.
Oh, Cartier's a watch.
Yeah, De Beers.
De Beers
is the one you are
Have you
seeking
had them?
legal liability.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, allegedly are a Blood Diamond company. But if you want me to pitch you on my show, I will. I'll be like, let me make the best blood diamonds that a man
Yeah.
can buy a lady.
They make them fake now. Do you know that?
Yeah, they grow them.
A
in the
lot of
lab.
them.
Yeah,
Used to
it's
be
like-
growing them now. A lot.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
used to be called cubic
neon
zirconia.
gas or something over like they take a tiny piece of diamond and then they blast it with the gas and it bonds and starts forming diamond.
Isn't that
Then
cubic
they shade it.
zirconia though?
No, it's actual diamond.
So these are real diamonds.
It's grown diamond.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
as
grow
opposed
it
to
in like a
making children
chamber or something
climb
with
a
like
volcano.
I think it's neon gas. I'm not
Like
sure. I don't know.
babies in like 5
I read
years.
read an article
bag.
10 years ago and I vaguely
Yeah.
remember something.
Yeah, no, they killed a lot
I've
of
been
people for the diamonds.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so I mean, so I hear. Not that company, of course.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
The chair just
button.
gave
The
up. on
chair
you?
just broke.
Chair just
You're
broke.
just falling apart right and left.
You
here,
see
Tim.
what's going on?
I'm
here?
a little nervous talking to Tim. I don't know what's going on. You know, I'm trying to figure out what's going on and how I can help. And I didn't know I was going to be here pleading my case to help keep Timcast.
I think it's like you got a bow with a bunch of holes in it.
Well,
And
I got 10
you're
fingers.
a fan, though. What do you think?
I think,
If you don't mind me.
and I'm also an employee.
I think we sell or shut it down.
You did
Sell
what?
it or shut it down, one or the other.
One or the other.
Are you open to having someone inside or like not like a CEO, but someone coming to, you know, clog those holes up for you?
I don't know.
I'll hurt people for money.
I mean, you should. That's something you should think
No,
about.
you won't.
I know I'm nice. Cars can be weapons.
I'm glad. You,
I just think
I'm
it's.
glad you put May real quick. I'm glad you put May because I think we can salvage.
I don't think there'll be a show tomorrow.
Well, yeah, sure. We need
I
some
don't
time
think-
to work it out. We got to have some meetings, some team meetings, which we should do.
I don't,
Pizza,
I,
maybe
I,
some
I don't
pizza.
know. I think likely just this is the last week.
But then you still have your show, though. I mean, and you're
Yeah, I got
still
my morning
doing
show.
it.
Morning show, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take the components that we have. We have millions and millions in equipment.
Jesus, yes,
Probably
you do.
close to that.
Yeah, and so it's like if a studio
put
breaks and I
put
can't
a bit of
do
it
the
in my
show,
car. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, this company is dysfunctional.
Yeah.
We make a lot of money. Like, money's good, but it kind of feels like we're spending money to spin our wheels if we've got this much equipment, all these really great cameras. There's like even cameras over here. Which one is that? Is that a red? That's not a red, is it?
No, those are the black magic cameras I brought for
Oh,
the
Black
studio.
Magic.
Dude, we got a
Other
brand new one
studio.
in the room next door, like in the.
We just
you know,
upgraded
ready to go.
we just upgraded our mobile cameras to what,
Those are nice ones.
A6s.
FX30s, the same ones we use in the
FX30s.
studio right now.
What is the whole deal over there?
This is Richie Jackson's.
I don't know if we can
Okay.
see
The
it. I
possible
think we
future
get-
boonies.
There you go. You can kind of see it in the
Ah.
shot, everyone.
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous that it's very gold.
It looks like a furniture store in
It
a
is.
mall
Looks
that's
nice. Look,
about to
that was
close.
Liberty. Can you get a
That
camera
was-
shot of
Yeah,
that?
I got a
Oh,
little
yeah.
shot working here. Right now.
Look at
Yeah,
this picture.
I see it.
That's so good looking.
It
kinda
looks
wild.
like every house I've ever been in Dearborn, Michigan.
Yeah, I think you know. Look, we wanted to launch other shows and make other properties, and some of them do decently well, and some don't. But I think the issue is just like this is probably pushing the limit of what I, as a CEO and host, can accomplish on my own. And so that means we bring in external management, which would be a strategic investment, partial buyout, and then you'll end up with another company running everything.
Okay.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that sound. I don't like it. I think just I don't know.
And then what happens is
I could lead people. I've led many people. Throw me. Don't. I'm just
a
saying.
guy in
I
a
got
suit
No choice.
guy in a suit
I wanna
shows
stay
up
here.
and
Let's go.
I just think the cost is too much. I think there's no way around it. We've got to shut everything down, and if we wanted to salvage IRL, we got to get it back down to 2 employees.
Okay.
Are you on the spectrum? And I don't mean that as a negative. Because it
I
means like
would
you.
I would believe the answer is no.
Okay, because you're very, very very
Meticulous?
direct. Yeah, my friend Matt McClowry's is,
I think that's exasperation, not autism.
okay. Well, maybe that's true. Maybe
Because we've not talked about this stuff on the show before.
oh, you've never done it. Okay.
Yeah, like I've never come on and be like, I think I'm gonna end the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is our first.
I
well,
feel like
you
it's like-
have
it's a
you
blanket
have a couple
term,
times to me.
but it's
been in
like-
some dark holes. Like I said, like a year ago, you had like a whole week of where you were like in the down and dumps, and everyone was like, "Don't give up to me."
you have
That's when
laser
you're talking about
focus.
picking up the rock up the hill.
Yeah.
That was like about at
that's
least
the
a
first
year
time I
ago.
heard
You
that.
have
now.
laser
Yeah.
focus. It's a compliment. I mean,
Yeah.
my friend Matt's like that. That's why I'm wondering. Like maybe it's just something
It's
that like
it's not the first time someone's asked me if I was on the spectrum
Yeah.
or whatever, and I was like, "Why do you say that?" And they're like, "Well, it's because like you're very focused and
well, yeah, it's not like
direct
hey,
and
you're
logical."
eating crayons.
No, but I'm like, is the implication that your average person who is not on the spectrum is incapable of being a CEO, or like you have to be autistic in order to be a successful
I
business?
think you have
I don't
to
think
be
it's anything to
kind
do
of
with
a
the CEO part,
sociopath
right?
at
Oh, yeah.
time. Not
Yeah.
you, but I'm just saying like a lot of people that are in leadership positions, there is a sociopath kind of narcissism, like a little bit. Otherwise, I don't think that anybody can be successful. I'm a comic, you're a YouTuber. Let's be honest, there's some narcissism in the room, whether we want to admit it
Oh,
or
this
not.
whole show is like,
Right.
I
So-
think people should hear what I have to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
He's complaining on the internet.
we can admit that it's there, but I think
Like
that some,
my passion is that I feel strongly, and I think other people need to hear what I.
yeah, this whole thing is,
And that's how you built what you built.
Yeah, successfully built on you need to
Yeah.
you need to
But
listen
I got to
to
be
it.
honest. I don't think it's narcissism if you're right.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. I don't,
I'm only half kidding.
No, I got you.
You know, it's like people should hear what I have to say, and they liked it.
Yeah, so clearly.
I was correct.
Yeah, so
You know,
spot
it was
on.
logic, not arrogance.
Yes.
No, but
a lot of ranting too did well. People love the rant.
But I think like
anyways,
serial
yeah.
killers
Sorry to
and
cut you
some
off.
CEOs kind of test on the same sociopath levels. They
yeah.
It's just very hard to murder a lot of people these days with all the Ring cameras.
No, actually, the CEOs are probably bigger. There may be CEOs that are bigger serial killers than serial killers.
Yeah.
If their means of killing is through circuitous methods.
That's
And I'm not kidding.
No,
that makes sense.
I know you're not.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
either.
If you want to
There
get
could-
dark.
Yeah, there may be a CEO who's like, if I introduce this product, we can see 3,000 deaths per year, and they start laughing about it. You know?
Oh
What I mean?
yeah. Well, I mean, and there are people that actually have those jobs where they have to decide how many people die or do we get the airbags fixed.
Right? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a rough job.
Fight Club.
Fight
Remember?
Club is
when he does the
yeah.
equation.
Yep.
If the cost of a lawsuit is greater, if the cost of a lawsuit is less than the cost of the recall, they don't recall.
Yep.
That's
Yeah, and that's just insane. They have to
Yeah.
make that choice. They're like, I guess this baby seat's flimsy.
Yep. That's wild, man.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, but somebody's got to do that job. See,
Yeah.
and they're doing their job, so somebody here could make sure a computer works for you.
So like, let me
you're
grab a
not
super
killing
chat here real
any
quick so I
babies.
can
Yeah.
help you. So Blake says, bro, why do you keep saying you make so much money, but then refuse to hire some people like IT? We have IT people. It's because the answer isn't spending money. Money is never the answer. You know, I've met a lot of people in my day who say things like, if only I had money, I could do X. And I'm like, that is not true for literally any successful person. Successful people got hired or got their jobs because they were doing something already.
Right. Yeah.
So like my first YouTube video, for the first 3 months of me making YouTube, I was losing money. And I was like, I don't know, what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm like kind of bored. Let me record a video. And then recorded some videos. The views started to go up. And I did the last night in Sweden thing. And that was like a few months in, and then I had one big hit, and I was like, oh, I'm in Sweden now, I'm getting a bunch of views. And that generated a bunch of buzz. And then once I got back, I was finally making like $2,000 a month or something like that.
Yeah. Nice.
And I was like, hey, look at this. I'm not losing money anymore. My savings is no longer burning up. And then I was like, let's just make more videos and see what I can do. And I was doing for like, I don't know, like a year. It was probably just one 10-minute video every day at 4 p.m. That was it. That's all it was. And I was probably making like 60, 70,000 a year. And I was like,
just doing one 10-minute video?
Yep.
Nice.
One 10-minute video. Oh. And it started to go up. And then I remember off of one 10-minute video, I was in Jersey, I was in Bayonne, and I hit 6 figures. And I like when I was working at Disney, I was getting paid a bit. They paid me a lot of money.
What did you do at Disney? Why didn't I know
Well,
this?
so it was Fusion. It was ABC News Univision joint venture.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and I was one of their senior talent. And that was a ridiculous company. But so when I left, I'm like, I've got a lot saved. I had a couple $100,000 that I had saved getting paid all this money from this company. You know, like I basically saved all my money always. Worked at Vice, saved it all, then went to Fusion, saved it all. And when I left, I was like, okay, so several months, the money's just going down. And I'm like, I'm sitting there thinking like, man, if I don't turn this around, if I keep if I use this money only right now to live, maybe I can stretch it out for 4 years. You know what I mean? And then try and find ways to make money. If I invest and try and go the media route, I'm burned out in a year because flights, hotels. Mm-hmm. And then after the Sweden thing, I was net positive like $2,000 every month. And then I think it was about a year after that, I looked, it was back when they had, when full screen was around, and they showed the daily amount of revenue every day. And I saw that it was like $50 a day. And I was like, holy crap, I'm getting $50 a day.
Yeah.
As long as I don't spend $50 a day, I'm making money. And I just did it because I wanted to do it. And then what happened was a lot of people were creating secondary channels in case they got the first one banned, which is stupid because it still breaks the rules.
Yeah.
So I made Timcast News. YouTube chose the name too. Like,
oh yeah.
Well, so I had like a Google Plus page or something, and then it turned it into I don't know. That's why YouTube.com/Timcast says Tim Pool, and YouTube.com/Timcast News says Timcast.
Right. Your news is your 4 p.m. and your pool is your 1 and 9.
No, the pool was the 4 p.m.
But you don't do the news anymore, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do the morning show.
Oh, right.
No, you mean like
right?
you mean like going out on the ground?
Correct.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's impossible. It's too.
Okay,
People were screaming in my face. Like people would find the live stream and run up and start dancing and being like, "Look at me!" And they'd like, "Look, I'm on Twitter." And
oh, it sucks.
yeah, you can't do it. You can't do it.
Pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But so I created a secondary channel, and then I was like, maybe I'll just play like a Hearthstone. Like I like Hearthstone. I'll play Hearthstone videos, and I made a video, got like 3,000 views, and then I was like, nah, that was. Oh, I know. I'm gonna make fun of Don Lemon. So I made a video making fun of Don Lemon, and it got a few thousand views. And it was fun because he said the Malaysian airline may have been swallowed by a black hole.
Which, as we know today, by that one
Lizzo,
that one guy on Twitter, maybe might have been with the little swirkling.
That's right. Yeah,
you never know.
And so then,
is that true?
I don't know. No, it's not.
Nah, that was
but so
didn't they find it?
They found parts.
Yeah, I thought they found parts. Okay. Yeah. That's the thing when something goes missing, you never find the whole thing.
That's right.
That's even if it's like a kid.
Yeah,
Jeez.
true.
Stop.
You dark today, huh?
I don't know why I said that. Look, you just need enough for closure is all I'm saying.
Right, like a shirt.
Right, like a shirt.
Or a fuselage.
Yes.
Yeah, but anyway, I just decided I'll make a couple extra clips. There are a few stories I saw today that I thought were fun, but I didn't have enough to actually make a full thing on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like within like a week, I was getting 50 to 100,000 on each of them, and I was like, holy
Dang, that's a jump.
crap.
That's nuts.
And so I was like, I gotta make more of
on
these.
each video?
50 to 100,000 views.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish.
I was going to say on a video. I'm like,
No.
I'd join an OnlyFans.
No, they were like, it
ping
was like
pong
100,
balls
200
for
bucks. And then I was like, yo, this is wild.
What happened?
And so I started making 5 videos on my second channel and 1 on the main channel. And I was getting like, holy crap, by the beginning of maybe like 2019 or whatever was when I not became a millionaire, but when the amount of money I made for the month officially hit, if I keep doing this, I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was wild. And then Joe Rogan calls me out, invites me on his show. And then
Is he a podcaster?
He might be.
Okay.
I thought he was serious for a second there.
No, dude.
Hey, I may ask a question in that aspect. Was your first video the one you talked about the Twitter people, or was it the first video the one you talked about war and you covering war all the time?
What do you mean? First video with what?
You had 2 Joe Rogan videos.
At the time?
3. But the first one I seen
there's 4 now.
You were
I'm
talking
sure.
about Ghana and a bunch of
be
war
3.
and stuff going on. I never seen the Twitter one when I first started watching.
Well, I
it.
first
just
heard
heard
you
Jay
doing the
got
Wall
it once
Street
in a while.
thing. That's
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I
yeah.
first
First was
heard you. But that was
Vijay?
pre-Rogan.
Yeah.
Oh, way pre-Rogan. That was before Vice.
Yeah.
And then after Wall Street, I did a year of just like covering protests and doing social media.
Yeah, I forget what
Then I
year
joined
it was.
Vice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the verge. So I had 3 deals set up. It was Vice, Google, and Al Jazeera.
Gotcha.
And then,
Oh, you were Al Jazeera.
well, so they offered me social media manager.
Is that where they film Al Jazeera?
No, that's
like it.
that's more Persian, I think.
Yeah, that is You know what? It is Persian.
Yeah.
It comes with a white BMW.
Is that what they drive?
Yes, it is.
All right. Yeah, but I don't know. Anyway.
But yeah.
No offense to Persian. It's a nice car.
No, yeah.
You just don't all
I don't know.
have
I'm
to
not
have
insulting
one.
Persians. It does look like, it looks
No,
like
it
Persian.
Looks fancy.
It looks like what you see in like an Iranian like consulate.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like you definitely, a lady would be sitting there well draped.
Yeah, well, not a consulate. It'd be a man well draped,
Oh, that's true.
wearing white.
Yeah.
I think actually,
right.
I'm not sure about Iran. Maybe
I don't know.
Saudi
I've,
Arabia.
I've never been.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I've
Anyway,
heard
long story
terrible
short, IRL
things.
was an accident. Here we are. It grew and grew and grew. It's a heavy lift. It requires a lot of work. I just think, maybe it's too much. Maybe I do the morning show and don't have to worry about it.
That's crazy. I mean, I remember I watched you probably 2018, 2019 when you were doing those single videos by yourself.
Yeah.
And then I think I messaged you saying the sound was messed up. So people in the chat, I've been there before. And then I think you responded to me and said, yeah, come and fly out. I flew out. I fixed it one time. Didn't take the job at first. Came back later on, then eventually came on the team. So I never thought I'd be here, especially seeing this happen right now, which is crazy. So
I mean,
Well-
you built it all. Do you want to really get rid of it?
I mean,
I shouldn't say that. Streamline it.
so that's like, imagine if Sisyphus pushed a snowball up a hill. Eventually, the snowball's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and now he's holding this gigantic boulder and he's pushing it more.
If you believe in science.
And it's like, hey, you've got this massive boulder. You sure you want to just let it roll down the hill? And it's like, well,
It hurts.
I don't know. Yeah, it hurts.
I'd like
I'm
to,
struggling with this thing.
I'd like to get out of the way before it falls on me. I get that,
Yeah.
but it seems like you're profitable. Like,
Well, yeah,
very
I mean,
profitable.
very.
Yeah,
So that's how we have ancillary investment,
right.
right? That's how we're doing these other shows.
So you like,
But I
doing-
can't
oh,
manage them, and I can't succeed unless they have a CEO managing them.
Okay, so you need someone
And
there.
so it's like, I'm not going to be able to do IRL, the morning show, and manage outside investments. And so at this point, it's kind of like,
You need a bad guy.
that's what I was saying.
Bad cop?
You do. You just
one
do. You
option
need a
is
bad
selling,
cop.
sell the show to somebody. We've talked about it before. It's like, yeah, but then what happens? Like, what are the requirements of a sale? What does that mean for the show? Maybe there's someone we know and trust and we're comfortable with running it and operating it. I don't know. Or it's just like, the question of keeping everything going is, do I have an obligation to everyone else?
I
mean,
hate
I'd
to
ask
say
your
it,
fans.
No, I mean, for the people,
But no.
more for the viewers. You have more obligation to the viewers than you do have anyone working here. In my own opinion,
no,
But
true.
it is
I
your
agree.
life.
you know,
Right.
yeah.
So it's a
right,
question
they're-
of-
And if you're
right,
not
and I don't
living
care.
your
You
life
should-
right now, sorry,
right.
go ahead.
No, he's right. I was gonna say more to the fans than anyone else, but you are your own person. You should do what the fuck you want.
What are we here to do on this earth? This is
Be
the-
happy.
Dance.
Stop commies.
Well, if the answer was be happy, then I quit everything and I go sell lemonade.
I got
on
it.
on a
I got
highway.
it to plant the tree that others can see a shade of.
Well, that's
So
a good
to make a
answer.
better
I mean,
future,
Is it
right?
duty to others for the success of
Someone's going to
mankind?
chop down your tree.
Well, they can.
Just telling
Like,
you.
no, yeah.
Steal your lemons?
I thought it was an apple tree.
Someone's going to kick
Steal
over
your
your
apples.
lemonade stand.
And there are deer.
They're gonna get
every
their
day down
lemonade
at the
from
bottom of
China.
the-
Yeah.
You're going to be priced out.
That's
Being
this
a-
is
being
another
in life
thing
is
people don't
tough
realize.
answer. I mean,
The
very tough.
you want to learn about evil, you just get fame.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to see the evil
bet.
when you're closer to the ground. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to the average person who just lives their life. But wow, the higher you climb, the more evil. So it's when you're close to earth and you're on the ground,
Yeah.
evil overlooks you because you don't matter at all. Sometimes evil will target an innocent person, just kill them in the street, things like that, right? But for the most part, there are a lot of people who you may encounter a demon, I mean figuratively, on the street, and they'll say nice things to you and they'll pass you by. And they say but once you're climbing atop the tower and the demons start seeing you and screaming like banshees, throwing knives at you and tearing you down. It's pretty wild.
It's a good analogy.
Well, that's, and I've
see
heard
it.
that too. I think it's Denzel Washington AI, but I mean, it is true that it's like once you hit to a certain point, there's a reason why somebody's going after you. It's
Right.
because they want something. I mean, obviously.
So
Or they just hate you and they're disgusting people.
Which are a lot of people,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
but that's what sucks about any level of fame. And it's like they will come after you and they do hate you. and you just kind of have to one day go, I don't really care. But there's a part of you that always will a little. Like, there's no human being.
But this is not the evil that I'm talking about.
No.
I'm not talking about
You
someone
mean
going
steal from you, take from you, and like kill you, basically.
You mean backstabbing too, as well? You mentioned it earlier today.
Yeah, trying to murder you.
Yeah.
You know.
Literally.
Yeah. Things like that. That's just.
And I apologized for that.
But we've been over this, and I forgave you, so you're.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So the question then is like, if we are here just in service to others, then I need to find a way to keep doing some form of Timcast show that people think is important and want to keep watching.
Yes.
And I can't have my head explode doing it, so
no.
Likely that means this show, which is an accident, has reached its culmination.
And it's odd though, because the way you explain it is everything is quality over quantity, but we're now dealing with an algorithm, like you said, where a lot of it is just quantity.
It's legit pure quantity right now.
And that's what sucks.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? You're just doing like the other day you said you're trying to do like what, 12 shows, 15 shows a week or something crazy like that?
It was always this way. And so
I'll
let everybody in the secret. I remember when I first started the morning shows and my views were skyrocketing and the money was skyrocketing, and there were other people being like, how is Tim Pool doing this? How is he getting so much? And I'm like, I'm not going to say anything to anybody, but you're making one video a week. I'm doing 6 per day, every day, 7 days a week with no days off.
You did 3 between 7 and 8, or 6 and 7 every day. I remember those days.
Yeah, 6:15 and 6:30.
And is that to just capture the algorithm, right?
No, that was just, it was...
or because it was just you were doing it because you liked it.
I had the time to do it. I had the energy to do it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But then what I discovered is the front page of YouTube is basically, it's a raffle ticket, cage. Sure. You spin it around and you stick your hand and you grab a ticket. If I'm doing 6 per day, 7 days a week, and you're doing 1 per week, guess what? Every time someone sticks their hand in, they're pulling out a Timcast video. Yeah. So if you watch one of my videos and then click refresh, guess what? There's 6 more per day. Yes. And so there's 10 slots on the front page. You're going to see Timcast more often. I'm going to get more clicks. I'm going to get more views. The more views I get, the more I'm going to get recommended. I'm going to beat all of you out.
Yeah.
Right. Just a numbers game. Right now, the channels that are doing the big numbers are just going nuts on shorts, and YouTube has basically... So what are the shorts that people are producing now that really do work? Find a viral video and then say, this is crazy, and then play the viral video. We've done a couple of those.
Reaction to songs.
For a short, for a 1 minute.
Oh, no.
They gotta catch your attention. Can you believe this happened?
Yeah, it's just,
To be honest, the funny thing is...
Yeah, it's a pull over and you're like, what?
But the host reaction really does make a video work, make the short work.
Sure.
So looking at, like when we've done shorts, if we play a viral clip and just the viral clip, nothing. If I were to say, guys, watch this, people will say, okay. It's kind of wild how that works with shorts. But then the content is becoming super lowbrow. But that's how you generate subscribers.
Society,
that's how you do it. Right. Agreed.
I mean, that's
here. I'll tell you another big problem with this. Another straw on the camel's back is not just the business elements, but looking at the content that's being produced in this space probably suggests all the more reason why we should keep going, but also massively makes me want to get as far away from it as possible. Because I was talking about this a couple weeks ago. People are making fake videos now and YouTube's promoting them.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's intentional. So like there are videos where person A and person B left and right, and it's a clip from 3 years ago and a clip from a year ago, and they're edited together to make it look like they're arguing.
I've seen one of those. I saw one of those.
Is that true? They're doing that shit stuff? I heard that.
I went on the front page of YouTube and I saw 2 different ones.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
And it was like, someone made a video about me using a clip of me from 3 years ago. Someone made a clip of me claiming that Cenk Uygur and I were fighting. And I was like, we're not fighting. What? Like, we're talking with Cenk about coming on the show, but like, how was there this video from yesterday where it's like Tim Pool fighting Cenk Uygur? I'm like, I haven't talked to the guy in like a year, 2 years since he was here.
Well, if you look at like you, Rogan, the cottage industry that has come of hate for Segura, stuff like that, there's a whole thing now that just exists to hate the people that are actually successful.
Well, Sam Cedars is a great example of that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty worried about him, actually.
Yeah, he's the one that always wanted to debate Crowder when I was on the show.
Yeah, and then he did that stunt.
When he brought in that other guy from...
I'm worried about him because if we don't do the show, I don't know how he's going to feed his family.
Well, the other day I was watching. It was maybe 3 weeks ago. Abba and Preach. They're a big YouTube show. I don't know if you guys know them. But they did a clip of Tim talking about dating from 5 years ago.
Yeah. It was forever ago. It was like 4 years old. That's what I was talking about.
Old school, like you had the things in the background, the blue and red
The blue and black.
The blue and black
little
yeah,
studio
but
waffle.
They did a whole video on that talking about that's how you were today, and everyone in the comments like, "What do you guys fuck?
It's all fake.
Like, what do you? Why would you pull up a 5-year comment?
Because
back in the day,
because the whole and YouTube's promoting this heavily.
Yep.
You if you go to the podcast section, look, and it's not just me. It's like I see people making fake videos about David Pakman, fake video,
it's everyone.
and I'm just like, damn, dude, a guy with 150,000 subs has built his subs off being like, if I can't find the rage, make the rage. Yeah. But this is the nature of business. Yeah. I talked about this with the death of media and why Huffington Post beats out, say, the New York Times. The Huffington Post, when I worked at Vice, I was explaining this to people, why media was dying, and it's been dying consistently. If you go to an investor, say, I want to launch an investigative journalism outlet, and we're going to tell the people the truth. The investor says, okay, what do you need? He says, I'm going to need $350,000 a year for just 2 investigative journalists and their budget. And he's going to say, okay, and what do I get at the end of that? Well, we don't know. We could investigate for a year and find nothing. Okay, well, let's say you do find something. Well, if we're able to, if it hits and people care about the story, maybe we can make our money back. And they're going to go, uh-huh. Then Huffington Post walks in and says, you give me $350,000, I'm going to write a bunch of stories about how cops are racist, and I'm going to make $1 million in a month.
I'll make it work.
And he's like,
yeah,
I'll write you a check tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's happening now. So if you're a podcaster and you're going like, I want to produce legit, honest commentary. Well, I got bad news for you. Some days are slow news. But don't worry, if you have no scruples, all you got to do is pull a clip from Cenk Uygur from 10 years ago and make the video claiming it was today. And then people are going to watch it. And there you go. Congratulations.
Well, we do live in such a time of parody, though. Like, we did a thing last week of the men of voting for Kamala after that commercial.
Yeah.
And, like, mine's, Alex
I see that.
Stein.
It's a good one. It was funny.
Thank you. I
The real
appreciate
thing
it.
wasn't a parody? Wow.
Yeah.
You're super gay. I love it.
Yeah. Well, you have Alex Stein as an Indian, and then I'm literally a leather man, and then people are commenting like, these aren't real men. People
So funny, dude.
taking it completely seriously.
But that's fine.
No, it's fine that it's like, it's funny that it tricks some people. Clearly they didn't watch
It's
to
not
the end,
supposed to.
and if they did, they're the dumbest
shouldn't
people.
supposed
Oh,
to.
yeah, it shouldn't trick you. I'm sorry. But, the first one did seem like a troll when the guy's, sitting cross-legged at the end
Oh, that
of a
dude?
truck and just being like, going, hey, like, I'm a rancher. Yeah, and you're like, no, this isn't good.
Those aren't real, man.
Yeah, but even in a parody that you're doing it deliberately, some people do take that as real news. Like, it's kind of shocking. How dumb.
Yeah.
I don't want to say dumb. That's an easy thing to say. But people are gullible.
It's
and
true.
It's
It's
because
true.
things are so crazy right now. I think it is kind of hard to tell what's real and what's fake.
Maybe it's maybe like Raymond was saying earlier, good times make weak men. And so we have a whole bunch of gullible fools who grew up believing everything they were told, and gullible's written on the ceiling right there above Raymond.
I was going to look over.
Did you
but I
really
know
just
Because I thought it was a setup, and I was like, no, it's
Nope,
not a
I got
setup.
on
Maybe it is
camera.
a setup.
Nope.
Like,
I got on camera.
fucking Tim. But, yeah. Anyways.
It says Mussolini. Weird.
Well, and that's also not,
it's
maybe
a
not-
compliment about you.
I'm not looking anymore.
He's looking again.
Well, you looked already. You know there's nothing.
something else?
I barely looked. I did like a half F you like last time. Half F.
Like when Trump looked at the eclipse.
yeah.
90% of the time I would have looked over, but I just knew.
But maybe it's not gullible, weak times just the you need to find someone, you need to maybe I don't know
doesn't
what
it
you need to find, but just get some old school Gen X people who worked hard their whole lives.
Nah,
Or millennials, they've done the same thing too. There's some getting Gen Zs.
I think I get a Class A. I do the morning show and drive around. And then I work normal hours like everybody else.
Yeah.
Make a morning show more robust because I don't have to worry about all the extraneous activities.
Yeah.
Aren't we living in kind of hard, soft times
A little bit. Kind
when
of.
you break it
Well,
down?
That you may
It's,
say
it's so Strauss' generational theory is that we are entering the hard time.
Okay.
And so things are getting increasingly more difficult because,
Okay.
I got to give a shout out to Dickie Baird again, but I have to issue a correction actually, because I got the lyrics wrong when I explained the lyrics to the impression that I get. It's, I'm not a coward. I've just never been tested. I'd like to think that if I was, I would pass. Look at the tested and think there, but for the grace go I. Might be a coward. I'm afraid of what I might find out. The song's from 1997, and Dickie wrote it about how his generation experienced no hard times.
Yeah.
That the generation before had Vietnam and these great crises, and they grew up in the 90s. Like they were reaching adulthood late 80s into the 90s, and they're just like, everything's great. It's a golden age, and that's what he's saying. Better not, I better knock on wood because I know people who have. He was saying, knock on wood, because if you're calling for this challenge, it may come to you. But those good times led to the millennial generation being a particularly weak and fractured generation, which is resulting in failed policy, crime waves. Really great examples. I predicted Bud Light. When the Bud Light thing happened, it happened and we all saw it. I predicted that it was going to turn out to be some millennial woman who had recently gotten promoted to the position and then decided to turn the company gay. And that's exactly what it was. Mm-hmm. When the Gen Xer or the Boomer, who had been running marketing and all the frat bros and everybody loved Bud Light, as soon as they walked out and they brought in the millennial woman, she was like, we want Dylan Mulvaney, and then nuked the brand.
Oh, yeah. From what I could tell, it did very bad.
It did.
Yeah, people are not a fan of her.
Nobody still likes it. I mean, it's still like
Bud Light's still done.
Yeah. None of us men really care anymore about Bud
Light.
Well,
they brought on Shane to try to revamp the image.
That didn't change anyone's.
Rogan and Shane were chugging Bud Lights on
and
the
UFC
show.
too. Didn't UFC do a thing? Yeah.
And it's like, my attitude there was take it and claim victory, say we win.
Yes.
And nobody wanted
to win. Take it back.
But nobody wanted to.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan was like, dude, who cares? It's beer. And I was like, you guys got to be on Rogan's side on this one because he's reaching regular people.
Yep.
But a lot of conservatives, they want to do it. But,
if I was in recovering Elkie, I'd do it just because I liked it.
If I was interested in piss water, I'd consider it.
It is kind of crappy. Very crappy.
Yeah, it's what you buy when you're underage once you can afford something better than Natty Ice.
I grew up at
right. It's like
me
14, 15,
too.
16.
Yeah, dude,
well, I wasn't drinking that.
I wasn't drinking when I was younger.
But when you're going to college parties, it's natty light or whatever.
Yeah. Natty Ice, same thing. Natural Light.
It's called Natapult, guys.
It doesn't matter. It gets you drunk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's 5.9 and it's shit beer, but it's 5.9.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
Beer.
Yeah, it's like the Beast. You're like, wait, I get 30 things that are terrible instead of 24.
I remember the first time my buddy brought Delirium over, and it's like the opposite.
Oh, that Belgian beer?
Oh, I don't know Delirium.
10%.
Delirium.
10%.
Yeah.
So I think it's 10%. Is it more than that?
As a youngin'.
It's high, dude.
It's like thick.
I loved it.
It's called Delirium, guys.
Yeah. Delirium.
It's a wild beer.
The name
It's a wild beer.
Wasn't the artist of the bottle the same one that did Fear and Loathing and a lot of Hunter
Oh, on the
S's work?
outside? Yeah, I think you might be right. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely meant to mess you up. It worked every time.
Yeah.
Are we doing super chats tonight?
We'll grab some super chats, I guess.
I figured I'd ask because
there's a lot of them. There's too many. I can't read them all.
Everyone's going to tell you how much they love you and hope that you can work it out in your brain and all that good stuff.
Commander Crunk says, Tim, I really don't have the money to chat, but I'm going to. Please don't give up. You are one of the few people I trust in news. The world needs you. Well, so the idea is I would do the morning show. So one of the challenges is that I'm sitting here going, if I did one show and got 150,000, like on the audio side, we get about 100 on IRL and like 50 on the morning show.
Like Spotify?
Yeah, okay. iTunes, Spotify. Okay. We've done no promotion for it, so we've recently brought on someone to do audio and start getting promotion because we're like, if we're the biggest on YouTube, we should certainly, but we haven't promoted anything, so nobody knows we're there. Mm-hmm. But I'm like,
it makes sense.
If I did one show and got 150K, and we're like, what is this?
Ian's here. Welcome, Ian.
Hey, what's up, dude?
He must have just turned in and heard what was going on,
man.
Were you sleeping the whole time?
Okay.
Dave.
Michael Landau.
Highway to heaven.
You need a microphone, Ian.
My brother's name is Michael, though, so that was
Dave Landau.
Yeah.
Were you asleep?
I was. I thought Hannah Claire and Seamus were going to be here, so I was like, well, I guess it's a full house. I'll take the night off.
Half-ass it.
Dude, I was having a dream that I was playing music with Nick Fuentes, man.
What is
song was
going
like,
on?
hey, do you know who I am? I just woke up, but
Ian's worried he's
it was
gonna miss
good.
The last one.
I was dreaming of this song with Fuentes, and he was great.
Yeah.
And then I logged on and I was like, I'm quitting the show. And I'm like, no, we got to just change the format. We got to play music.
For some reason, I just confused Nick Fuentes with Nicholas Shea.
Fucking jam, dude. How you guys doing?
Well, so we're doing
Great
super
to see you,
chats,
dude.
and my point is, if I do one show, and it consolidates viewership, gets more reach, and allows me to focus better, then maybe that's a better way to go about doing it.
I've been thinking we got such a good opportunity with just 8 p.m. and us. We could do life change. Like I'm going to go to North Carolina and help with cleanup. A friend of mine's doing cleanup stuff, like good humanitarian stuff.
We could be
playing music. We could be doing all sorts. Like we got 8 p.m.
You're such a bright light, Ian. God,
well, it was like
50,000
it
people.
gave me Kramer vibes.
Yeah,
it is Kramer vibes.
Bang bang.
Yeah,
but he's bringing light to
Needs
it.
Danny Masterson.
So you're thinking that it's just the 8 p.m.
I can't help
dark all the time.
That's all I do. I don't know if you've met me.
Are you good? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
I know, you're
obsessed
good,
with
man.
what's going on.
No,
No, we love
So
it.
wait,
We love
you-
that you came up.
You're saying the 8
do.
p.m. 8 to 10 politics format is like burning out? Is that what you guys are feeling? Is that what you're talking about?
No, no.
he's feeling
The
it more.
issue is
It's a whole thing.
like the studio broke.
What happened?
The studio broke. I don't know. It's been a cascade failure on the studio, and it's like it's not just about that. It's that for any project, unless I am in charge of it to the T, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, micromanagement. It's very centralized. So
Well,
you
so
can
we
either like
can't- we
let go
can't-
and have all these different managers try and run all the different.
Doesn't work.
we don't have all
departments
these
and-
managers though.
We've attempted
One.
management. The same thing happens. It stops working.
Some people will hire, like Elon hired a CEO to run Twitter, and he's just like, look, if you mess it up, you're out. But in the meantime, I'm the owner. I make all the final decisions, but you're going to run everything. I don't have time for this. And then he'll come in and just do whatever he wants whenever he
Oh,
wants.
hey,
but
look
he
at
lets
this.
the owner-
Matt, I just heard this. Matt Christensen and Blonde, they quit last night.
What's that?
He had a live stream that he would do. Matt Christensen's a YouTuber. and-
Yeah, I've heard the name.
yeah.
But
So
they
I guess he
quit their
shut it down.
show?
I mean, look, I'm saying I can just do my morning show and not have to worry about anything else, and then I can get the job done.
Yeah.
Trying to do 2 shows in one day is a diminishing return with the burning the candle at both ends.
God, yeah, dude. We could do like, dude, we could play games at 8. We could do like 8 to fucking video.
If you want to do it for free,
We could play music. Well, the thing is, there's 50,000 people that are going to come watch no matter what.
60 right now.
Yeah. Like, if you do
That's
something
not true, dude.
from 8 to, I mean,
We're not gonna
not
turn
anything. I'm
turn,
not taking a crap or something like that, but I'm talking
bro.
about
If we
quality
when,
content.
when we did music on Fridays, and if we do, the viewership will drop from 60 to 30.
Yeah, they like hearing the news. People like
Well, they're
hearing
here for
the
a news show.
Nobody sticks around for Gem Night.
Like half of them.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then some people will be
That's
like,
fun,
I'm not
though,
here for
and
this.
it's
and
still
all
a big crowd.
Yeah, and we could change
But
the
you're right.
format.
They are here for the news. They are here for everyone's
You could
take.
write songs
The
about the
circle
news.
Group, you know,
And
everyone
like,
talking.
because what would happen is if we change the format, you lose half the crowd, but then you'd slowly start to build a new crowd.
And they're only here for Tim. Like me, you guys aren't. You know, we don't sell tickets.
I know. I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's like your
Oh.
show, your
Yeah.
fans and
No,
stuff.
whoops.
Well, and I think,
What-
but if you're doing
what's
the
happened?
morning thing,
It's
Yeah, it's switch profiles. It should be okay.
oh, good. I hope it dropped out.
See,
That
the
makes us
studio.
more
There's no.
comfortable.
There we go. See, the studio just broke. Just right.
Well, that's because we've been here all day resetting the whole thing to run in the old studio. But it's all
did
good.
you guys
It
show-
See,
works out.
I want to
Richie's
stress.
Throne?
I want to stress this too because people
Yeah.
are like, Tim, don't quit. I'm like, I'm not saying I'm quitting. I'm saying IRL.
Yeah.
I have a morning show that I can do entirely on my own without any support at all.
Yeah.
And it is extremely difficult to do all of this at one time.
Question for you then: what do you want to do in real life?
Well, I would do this if it were possible. So I'm going to do the morning show, which I think the strategy is like shave everything down to the core, morning show, produce the content, and then from there regrow.
It would be fun.
A
Do
reboot.
something fun.
A reboot of sorts. Do you think?
Yeah, IRL times. So we are we range from like we're consistently the top 10 live streams in
Yeah.
the world
Yeah.
in terms of viewership. In terms of super chats, we've consistently been the #1 human being hosted
yeah?
show because the VTubers make way more than us.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're doing a live show, but you have an
Those are
avatar
like the
of a
robot
hot
ladies or something.
anime woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
you will make
Yeah,
more.
that's the deal.
But so
People are
that's
trash.
great. But it's also just I don't know. It's been 4 years, and
I want to.
we reached the point where I think. So here are the challenges. Clearly, we got to fire people. The problem is everyone's essential to a certain degree, and so that means the show's not going to function if we start to get rid of people. So then it's just like, do we put the show on a hiatus and start reassessing how we need to find and hire people? And then what do? We wait 3 months of going through the hiring process and burning money,
And then people
so
might
we
come
can be
back or
like,
not.
who do we find who's going to be able to run this properly? And no. Or I just be like, look, I need to make sure that my show runs in the morning so I can live and feed my family and pay my bills. Like waking up and not having a show for my morning show, I'm like, okay, well, who's paying the bills? If it's not going to get done and I don't have the people who's going to run even that, it's annoying when we try and do Cast Castle, it fails. Cast Castle 2.0 comedy, it fails. Boonies, it fails. And I'm like, but that's ancillary investment and that's my failure. I can't make it work. I get it. But when those projects result in me being unable to do the core show, which pays the bills, then it's just like we're going to stop.
Yeah,
Where's
you
your
got
comedy?
subscriptions. Subscription models are where it's at because then it frees you up to do.
Who makes the product for the subscribers? That's
up to you. Basically, you get to make whatever you want.
Sure. So
whenever you want.
So IRL only exists because we have members. If every single member quit, IRL ceases to exist. Period.
Yeah, memberships is legit. Dude, the Discord is so popping. I just did a game jam with a bunch of people from the Timcast Discord and others.
Yeah, it's probably a good time.
We all these developers over 2 weeks developed video games, and then they did this contest. There were like 16 entries, and then they voted. They got down to 5 finalists, and then they had me come in with another guest judge, and we played the games live. And then they were like, dude, we love everything you're doing, and we not, they didn't say we worship Timcast, but they're like, dude, they're people that are like subscribing to the company. The games were awesome, by the way. Biggest Dickus Architectus was my favorite. It was one of the winners. It was a really cool game of like physics and stuff. So that was like an untapped market. I'm like, yo, if we hosted like a video game judgment thing where developers were just constantly creating games, passing them in, and then there was like a $1,500 prize that went to the winner. And
you might get like 2,000 people watching, maybe 10. I don't know if that's a big market to my world.
You create the market. This is the point. It's like you set the
for
trend.
Video games, that's not bad.
What's that?
I think for video games, that's not bad.
Are you going
No,
off topic?
it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And like it's like another way to garner fans and give back to the community that's subscribing, and also to make money and to pay people that are up and coming developers. Like that was just like 2 hours. For me, it was 2 hours of work.
Tim, would you do IRL instead of the morning show? Like, do you have a preference of
IRL can't sustain itself.
Can't sustain itself, even though
IRL requires the members to exist as a show because we need drivers, we need guest booking, hotel, travel accommodations.
Okay, I see.
We could also do no guests. We don't need guests.
Yeah, they're worthless.
I know.
It's like it's great having them.
He's been saying naughty things,
and
the
we
whole time.
can.
Barely naughty.
We can, but that show me and you and Phil did was so
Thank
awesome. Like we could just hang out. We don't need to fly people in every day. We could do like guests once a week or twice a week.
Old school.
Back when it was him, you and Adam, it was just as entertaining.
I mean, that's actually what I was saying. Is one of the core ideas is to just get rid of everything but the skeleton crew.
Yeah, and then just have guests whenever.
We can tell the guests if you want to come on the show, you drive yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, no more covering your planes, Dave.
This was the first time you did.
What do you mean?
I always would book myself.
Oh, really?
I never wanted to burden anybody with.
Oh, you're such a nice man.
Yeah,
we even get some people first class.
They jumped on it, and can you?
Yeah, let's do skeleton crew.
Well, we'll think about it.
But that's when you started blowing up too, Tim. Like OG fans,
middle seat.
You and Adam, and then young gentleman came around.
We have so many hosts
So
now.
yeah, it was you guys are
That's what I'm saying. We got
40K likes a night. Remember ladies and
but
gentlemen,
that
I'm gonna wear my MAGA beanie if you give me 40K likes tonight.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
But
how- remember those times?
that was also during COVID.
True.
And so
Okay,
viewership
true.
on everything for people locked in their homes was
And
massive.
people
also
would
that-
kill you for wearing
They
that.
called it lightning in a bottle. You and Adam, your old school friendship, like kindling into this business. Really, it was like just crazy energy.
You know,
and
look, the show was supposed to be on the street. It was supposed to be out of a vehicle where I would interview regular people and just hang out and do a podcast. I was talking with regular folks.
Yeah,
It changed up a lot.
it can. They.
It's too burdensome.
We
right?
got so many hosts. We got Phil, Libby, Seamus when he feels like it, Hannah Claire, Raymond,
I'm not a
me,
host.
Serge is hilarious.
hang
I'm
out.
so glad you're talking again.
I like
Serge.
that Ian's naming names.
Dude, I'm dropping.
It's all of them. It's all their fault.
I'm going back to the Ross dress for less. Apparently, my friends.
And like, God, we could have other people come in too. There's so many people that
Oh, you're
wanna,
saying positive things.
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, like.
He's not naming
People
names.
that work
Okay.
at Timcast, even like Wesley's hilarious. Carter Banks is awesome. I mean, Charles is hilarious. I would love to sit down with Charles for a couple hours and just shoot the shit, talk about whatever, talk about economics, he's just a funny guy. in general.
Rugby, hockey, but yeah.
Yeah, like he's just good to be in a room with.
I don't know.
So you're in a reassessment time frame then, because I'm so happy you wrote May, like I said before, but so it's like a.
I wasn't gonna do the show at all, but Dave was here, and I was like,
Yeah,
it's kind of a dick
appreciates
move
it, and we
to
appreciate
be like,
it
we're not gonna
too.
do anything.
Yeah.
And now everyone, at least, because you've always been open and honest with your audience, so
What have you been up
it's
to?
good that you're doing this opening honest with your audience right now.
Did you already talk about what you've been working on lately?
No.
What have you been doing?
Nothing.
You Norwald, yeah?
No,
He retired. He works on a farm.
Yeah,
That
it's
sounds
pretty
refreshing.
good. Well, I don't say I work, but I'm definitely doing labor on a farm. What I do is Normal World. Yeah, that's the sketch show, and we're finally putting out more sketches because I know what it's like to have to deal with certain people as well, egos and whatnot. But it's good that we're now building it back up, and I really do like the show. But I really want to do like all sketch. You were fantastic. I was telling the driver today.
You were on a show?
We were on the first episode
he was in the
together.
very
it was called
first
Drugtopia. It's
sketch.
on YouTube.
Wait, I've totally seen that. I've seen you guys
Yeah.
for first couple ones.
Good, dude.
He comes off like Robert Downey Jr. It's crazy
Okay.
in less
Okay.
than zero. He's amazing in it.
Acting is like my strength. We
Yeah.
should do more.
I would love you to do more. I would love Tim to do a sketch, but he can't leave.
Well, maybe now he can.
I know, and
actually-
if you're not around, I would love to have him in a sketch. Like,
be so funny,
there's
dude.
nothing more I enjoy than doing that. And like, yeah, dude, Drugtopia was fantastic because you just, it was just perfect how well you played that.
would we just fly down to Texas for a couple
Yeah.
days and shoot it? And
Yeah,
then-
absolutely.
That'd be pretty cool.
That's the most fun. Like, honestly, I think when it's coming into like comedy, sketch, movies, all that stuff, I think there's a way to really do this right, and it's not necessarily being
We
done.
could get rid of guests.
Yeah.
Guests
Yeah.
can come on if they choose to come on, but
Yeah.
we're not going to handle booking and anything else.
Well, if you're coming on because you're basically giving them a lot of free promo.
Yes, and sometimes people come on and don't say like 2 words.
Dude, that's the worst.
It's so brutal.
Yeah, so
terrible.
like,
And they get mad at us.
do they? They get mad
And I'm
afterwards.
like, I don't know if they know what the show was.
Yeah. And
Well,
then-
we'll have like a PR company be like, we want to get this person on your show, and then
Yeah.
they think we're going to interview them about their book, and then we don't.
But yeah, IRL is a topical news show, daily news show.
Well, did they think that you read the book? I mean, that's a lot.
No, it's funny though because like,
Nobody
dude, I'm
reads
not.
the book.
I won't lie to people. Like we've had people on the show and they're like, hand me the book, and they're like, will you read it? I go, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm doing 2 shows every day and running a company. There's no way I can read this book.
Look, Michael
Even the
Malice
Audible
is,
book ain't got
Michael
time for
Malice is a good friend of mine, but I don't understand.
I got the audio book and I still haven't listened to
Dude,
it.
I get halfway in and I'm like, yeah, I'll believe you.
The white pill.
It's spot on.
Mike knows what he's talking about.
It's the white pill. Have you?
It's brilliant. Yeah, up the first few chapters I got,
Well,
and then I don't pretend I'm smarter than I am.
so let me tell you guys something. Maybe,
sir.
we could do the CEO route, right? We could do the strategic investment. You know what that means?
No.
It
tell
means
us.
that we'll be doing the show, and we're going to let people know about the hardships we face, especially the hardships dealing with a bad night's sleep, which is why I use my pillow.
I hear they're good.
That was fantastic.
My pillow promo code Tim is an actual thing. You can use it.
Really?
So we do pre-rolls. We don't do end rolls or mid rolls. But I guarantee you, anybody who comes in and says I'm going to clean this up is going to be like, we need four ad reads per show.
If they're good things, I don't mind talking about them. I really
No, they're
actually
not going to want a
to.
conversation
Like
about it. They're going to say
epic
break
provisions.
at 9:30. Read the line. Read the minute.
see that.
Carry on.
Can you do like 15 seconds? Like real quick?
You mean
You
like
know-
if you said something like I'll be
45
in
seconds
Tom's
maybe.
River, New
Okay.
Jersey on Friday?
Theo Vaughn does really cool ads where he's like, "Yo, homie, you got to get a taste of this shit." Like he says it how he would say
Is it
it.
in the middle of the show or is it like?
It like cuts to it in the middle of the
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
Yeah,
does
that's
his own-
those are host read placements. So we have some of those sometimes. I'm saying for a live show,
Yeah.
host read placements are going to for YouTube, hands down. Like anybody who comes in and says we want to run this, they're gonna be like, oh, here's your problem. You're not doing any ad reads.
Like the Ben Shapiro, how he gets it, how he mixes it in, and that pretty young lady Cooper.
Brett Cooper.
Brett Cooper, yeah, she mixes her.
They all do. That's their
very well.
strategy.
I would do ad reads.
I kind of like the commercial idea too. I'm just throwing it out there. I always like making commercials.
It just sounds like doing
Those
a
are
lot
always
more
fun.
work. You know?
Oh, like it cuts to a sketch or something.
That's
of a
what we
commercial.
used to
Trying
do
to
at
do?
Crowder, yeah.
of
That
us
was
like
fun.
with a real product we could
Yeah.
be selling.
Yeah, but it's actually just a
He's like,
sketch.
oh,
with
like Tim's like,
products in it.
I'm hungry. I'm like, have one of these, and I'll hand him like the
Yeah, you got
epic
like,
provision.
yeah, whatever bar it is, and you're like, you need a protein bar.
So you're doing a lot of work and you're not getting out of it what you want. Is this? Does that sound?
Well, I mean,
right?
look, the studio broke.
Right.
And so I'm just, there's a lot of other things too, but I'm not going to throw anybody specifically under the bus.
Sure.
I'm not going to bring up other things, but it's just like I said, 90% of the job getting done means 10% across every
Okay.
person that I have to handle, and I can't do it all.
Gotcha.
And so, people are mentioning, we got a super chat, startup syndrome, you need a CEO. I'm like, of course, right. And so that's the question. It's like,
It's a 4-year startup, though.
no, that's normal. 3 to 5 years to startup.
Yeah,
Most companies fail in 5 years.
that's what I mean. Yeah,
Is that what it is?
So now you're bringing a
failing,
CEO,
is what
and
I'm saying.
well, it's like, why just keep spending money and spinning wheels? Like I could pull it all back and keep making money and not have to stress about any of it.
It's true.
Does
Yeah,
any of
if I were you, I would have just already done just the Timcast thing. But that's
I mean, I'm saying I could buy a
But he
Class
he
A.
says he likes the the IRL aspect of it.
Yeah, and that's
I can get a Class A right now. You know what a Class A trailer camper is? Tour bus.
Okay.
Pop
Big
out
guy.
tour bus,
Big
basically.
guy.
Living room. I can park it anywhere in the country. See, I
Every
upgraded
Walmart.
from the van. You know what I'm saying?
Stream live
And then-
from the tour bus.
No, I record my morning segments from the bus wherever I want to go,
Yeah.
and then that's it. I'm done. I could reasonably record till 4 to get the best segments up. I could do 10 segments per day if I'm working till 4 p.m.
That'd be nuts.
Can you stream on a bus?
Starlink, yeah.
And
That's
you could be
awesome.
done the rest of the night. You just do 10.
And then at 4 o'clock, I go to Allison and say, "You want to go get dinner?" And I go hang out with my family.
It is
Like
pretty
an
fresh,
awesome
dude.
tour bus you could get, or like one for
No,
like poison.
they're based. AF.
you know,
Yeah.
Timcast IRL does
Oh,
very
so you
well.
could just get one.
100 grand.
Oh wow.
How much?
Yeah,
100?
100 grand.
That's the cost of a Kia now.
Almost 100 grand.
Yeah, so there are
Dude,
some
cars
used
suck
Class A
now.
trailers that are like 2022 or whatever that's off. I think they're like $100,000.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I could record my morning show anywhere I want.
Dude, mobile's the shit. I just got a bunch of mobile equipment today.
I hate
Literally,
promoting it.
spent
Yeah,
like
you could
8
do
hours.
10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and do what you did before 6, 7, 6:30. I don't want to say that out loud because I
Yeah,
love
but it's
IRL,
true.
but
I mean, that's how
it's
me and-
100% true. You can
Yeah.
totally get her done.
That's how
and
me
you
and
can be
you found the
happier
show.
that way. So yeah,
I've been studying.
if you think, I mean, I don't know I don't know your happiness level. We're not
mobile
best friends
tech,
or anything. So
are you guys
I don't
following
know.
Thunderbolt technology? It's USB, huge breakthrough advancements. It's USB's eclipsing HDMI. Like it's not even USB. It looks like a USB cord. It's called Thunderbolt, and it's going up to Thunderbolt version 5, where you can get one USB plug can power your device with 100 watts, and it can send 80 gigabits a second, which is like, what would that be? 16 gigabytes per second of transfer data speed. Like, phenomenal. So basically, you're going to end up having one cord that can power your entire setup.
And it's called
Dang.
Thunderbolt?
Yeah, Thunderbolt technology. My new laptop has Thunderbolt 4, 40 gigabits per second. I'm studying the difference in gigabits
Wait, is
and
it
gigabytes.
yours? Is it like your product?
No, it's just it's a new breakthrough. I think Intel has been working on these advancements. They kind of started using gallium nitride in superconductors, so
Yeah.
it's a lot cooler and a lot so they can make things a lot
okay.
smaller.
Well, Ian's back, everyone.
Yeah, dude, I've been studying electricity for like a week and like power and I was studying volts this morning. Alessandro Volta, how he built his first battery. You guys ever study that thing?
Nope.
He's called the Volta, I think it was a Volta pile where he just put zinc and copper on top of itself over and over and over again with like these pieces of cardboard in between them with salt water. And then they just made an electrical charge. And they were like, what the fuck did we do with this? So they just started destroying stuff. They were like, let's destroy water. So they discovered electrolysis. They were like, let's destroy salt. They discovered sodium.
Yeah.
And then they've had OM had to come in and figure out how to resist the electricity to actually utilize it in daily products.
And damn, you research.
Yeah, I've been going nuts. I've been
That's
looking
Ian.
at like mobile equipment lately. I'm like,
Okay.
because my friend's down in North Carolina, like I was saying, she's doing this cleanup stuff.
Yeah, our friend Dr. Steve is right now because his hospital was flown up to the ceiling.
She's
I mean,
Xena,
to the roof.
Xena Radner, phenomenal humanitarian. She does all sorts of crazy work. And I was like, I got to go down there and interview her. So I've been looking at like difference of wattage and voltage and amperage because I've been trying to get different devices and make sure everything's
Oh,
compatible.
like how you're gonna power it and everything.
Yeah. And there's new breakthroughs in USB, and this Thunderbolt tech is really, really promising for mobile work.
Thunderbolt tech is nice. Any
Yeah,
suggestions
we
you
should.
noticed?
I think we'll do a
Anything
little
else?
members only for all of our
Okay.
members who want to have a
Nice.
more direct conversation with some call-ins and want to ask some questions.
Love that.
You know,
Hanging with the members, dude. That's what really fun too. Because I wanted to have you come in and guest judge the video game competition with me, but I figured you're too busy. But this is like opportunity to do that kind of stuff.
There you go.
I'm glad happy you're doing that.
Like,
So,
and if we did it 8 to 10 one night, and we're just
Happy,
like, let's
happy.
use this platform to host these games for these new and up and coming. Because some of these guys are like geniuses. In 2 weeks, what they can spin together.
do you understand the level of what's going on tonight? By chance?
Man, I'm always on the level, Raymond. But tell me, talk to me about
Just
it.
what the show's about. The title is "I May Be the Last Show," and you're talking about Thunderbolts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I always. Yeah, well, I'm talking about mobile tech, but yeah, you could say.
Just curious.
I'm
I'm
not
not trying to be a dick or anything.
I guess I don't want to pile on. I'd
Yeah.
rather like elevate.
Your mood is very fantastic.
you know, like
I do like
there were a lot of
it.
super
I appreciate
chats. I'll read one of them because a lot of them say the same similar thing. What does this says? The ham is bad. You need to hire a COO and an IT professional, people who have no interest in making videos a day, want the system to produce the videos work. Like the solution, I don't think the solution is try hiring more people again. Remember how you had a problem, so you hired people, and that didn't work, so you fired them, and then you hired more people, and you fired them, and you hired more people? Like, at a certain point, I'm kind of just like, I don't think that's the issue. I think, I just think...
Cutting back on guests. Huge
Apathy?
expenditure.
If guests work for you, though.
I think it's, I think people... I think people
No,
are...
I mean, like, we have guests. We've just had to, we've gone up and back and forth with that as well.
I think people are entitled, lazy,
Yes. Yep.
Very true.
Yeah. So you can only do so much, I guess. I
Give
think
a
the other thing
mouse a
too
cookie.
is
It's a book.
the reason why a lot of businesses are as corporate as they are is because there's no world where, like, I believe that the actual mentality of the average employee, I say average employee, I'm not speaking about any one individual, is I got to get mine and I'll burn this down if I have to.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
I think like, I was talking to a friend and he said that he was at a job once and every time he'd look over, the guy's just scrolling Facebook and Amazon and not working.
It's the
I know
thing
too many
about-
people. I've
true.
met too many people like that in my previous
Right,
jobs.
it's just-
That's true, but I don't
salary.
think they have the ability to take over. Like, I don't
I'm
think
not
they
saying
have
to
that
take over.
go-getting.
I'm
Okay.
saying quiet quitting is hugely popular. It's like a big trend among Gen Z.
Just leaving.
No. Quiet quitting is when you keep pretending that you're working so you get as much money as possible before they fire you.
Oh, the George Costanza
Yeah.
method.
Right.
That's
right.
the-
Just come to work.
I think that's
after you
a
quit.
product
Right.
of
Gotcha.
salary and hourly wages. Because if you're just getting paid no matter what you do, and you're always going to get paid the same amount, why would you do more? But if you're making more money based on how well the outcome is, now you're going to work hard.
Yeah, I don't know. There's been a bunch of pitches like we should
Are you
do.
cool with the Collins? Right?
What?
It's the Collins, yes? I'm just
Yeah, in
making
5
sure.
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so like one method is like the GE method, I think. It's where every quarter you fire the bottom 10%.
That's
do
actually a
that
great,
still?
One of the worst
great
performers.
idea. I like it.
Yeah, and so it's
That's
basically
why I hate
like
unions.
we're gonna say this job has to get done. If it doesn't get done, we're adding that we're writing it down in a file. At the end of the quarter, whoever has the most misses is you're out.
Yeah, man.
And I'm
the
like, I
harsh
don't-
reality of business.
Yeah, who wants to work there? I guess, but that's the only way to do it. Otherwise,
You shouldn't work.
Don't
You
do
should be. If you were the person who's not the bottom 10%, then that's a good thing. Like if you're working hard and people see that,
Yep.
then that's.
if you're working hard, other people are doing nothing, and the company's failing because of it. You're gonna be pissed off.
right. But then that's why I like the 10%. Got to go. I like that aspect.
Yep.
That's why I hate unions. They're the worst
Right. I
things
don't like,
ever.
yeah.
So like you hire a
one
CEO to
time.
come in and just be like, that person's got to go.
No,
that
no, no.
person's gotta
We
go,
say,
that person's gotta go.
so we have tasks that have to be accomplished. If they're not accomplished, we write down you failed to accomplish task. Then at the end of the quarter, we look at who has the most failures and say, you're out. We're hiring somebody else.
It's the only thing I've ever had the last.
I don't think people
20 years
realize
of my
what they
life.
have until it's gone either.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, that's a huge thing about working at a place like this. There's not a lot of gratitude until you go out there into the real world and realize that, like, comedy feels like more of a safety net to me than it would working for any Fortune 500 company. At least in these days.
Why's that?
So many overseas people that are doing the manufacturing. Like,
Oh,
I just don't feel that people are looked at as much more than numbers. So if you're looked at by the person who owns the company as somebody who actually cares about the employer, but then you don't reciprocate that, that's kind of shitty.
You know,
I've been watching a lot of video of like dudes like tapping trees to get rubber out, or factory workers working with vinyl, just poison, chemicals,
Oh, of
brutal,
course.
boring ass shit. And I'm like, what a
sorry.
opportunity
Thank you.
this is to work on TV and like entertain for a living.
That's what I mean. Like, to get 6 figures at like Zug Island in Detroit, where you just work with poisons all day and you're going to be riddled with tumors and die at 40,
Yeah.
but you get 6 figures. You know
Well-
what I mean? Like, people do that. I mean, that's all their options.
there are
are.
people who mine cobalt and their teeth fall out of their mouths when
Yeah.
they're 20 and they get paid $1 a day.
Or fucking
some are
throw
14 years old,
luggage,
you know,
or
And they make great hookers.
Congo.
corn oil. There's just so many jobs I've had in life that were like, I can't wait for this to be over. And this is a job where I can't wait to wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
True.
Like, every job I've ever had.
I don't think that's
until
true for this
that-
company.
You don't think so?
I think that there's an element of at this company among our staff who are just like, what do I have to say to make this day end?
I don't think anybody's looking at a clock right now, though.
No,
This
there.
isn't the regular day.
I think that this company has too much of. I don't got to do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then when it falls down and I have to catch it, they're just like, I don't care. And you know what? I think it's some people are worse than others, but it's that If someone's only doing 90, I'm trying to catch the other 10.
Yeah. So you're doing 150.
I'm doing way more than that.
Yeah.
No, you're like 330 or whatever. But
And then
Yeah.
it's like hey guys, I really need this because I can't do it. And they're like, sure. And then they're just like, what a fucking idiot. You think I'm going to do that? Like, dude, it's remarkable how it's just like, hey, this thing has to get done. Otherwise we can't do the company. And they're like, you got it, mate. And then they just, as soon as you leave, they, I don't know, crack open a bag of chips and just watch TV or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's a crappy feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do, I mean, you take it more personal then.
it's,
'Cause you have to. I mean, it's your baby.
I don't know if I take it personally.
I think
how could you
do.
not? I don't understand.
I don't know how you couldn't.
Yeah.
Because I think people are people. I don't know.
Yeah, without a taskmaster being like,
Well, I think this is the realization is that there has to be a mid-manager whipcracker.
Yes.
Yes, always.
No one-
And it
no-
sucks. But
You
it's
don't get
true.
that. You don't like. Anybody who is passionate and wants to do it, who doesn't need a whipcracker, is not going to work at a company because they can do it on their own.
they can, yeah.
Okay, so then you don't need a CEO. You just need a middle management whipcracker.
Or a
Yeah, I
CEO
don't
that
know that that's
also
gonna
is.
I mean, I'm
you get a
just.
CEO that's
I'm not
the
saying you
whipcracker,
need
like,
anything, Tim. I'm just throwing that out there.
like a CEO could also be the whipcracker.
Sure.
And then they would be middle
We're
management
not
because you'd
that
be the
big a
owner.
company.
Oh
Yeah. Well, someone's got to execute and make
30
sure that shit's getting
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
And is like, look, I'm talking to the head of this department, this department, this department, this department, this department every day. We're having a 20 minutes with you, 20 minutes with you, 20 minutes with you. Who's not getting it done in your
Oh, that's
department?
just so dumb.
Who's
I
not getting
don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
No,
That's why I'm just
so
like,
you would hire someone to do
No.
all that crap.
No,
That'd
I'm
be
just
the CEO's job.
not interested.
Well, they got to do a man. You got to have
Yeah, no,
meetings.
or I can shut it down and do my morning show, and I don't need any employees.
Yeah.
Well, you could, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you
I
want to
could.
have a company, you got to have someone that's
that's what he's
executing
saying.
management.
Right.
That's what he's saying. He doesn't want to. That's the whole point.
Execute.
Well, you're saying you don't want to do it, not that you don't want the company to exist. You don't want to do that job. I don't blame you. It's exhausting to be in meetings.
No, I don't
all
want
day.
to. I don't want to be in that environment of weird, stodgy HR managers.
Yeah.
The HR companies that want to help you have like, dude.
Yeah.
I worked at companies where it's like, I'm having an issue. The only resolution is to ask HR, and HR is like, tell me more so I can fire you and get you.
Right.
The machine
HR
is broken.
Yeah.
HR doesn't exist to help you with your problems. If you work at a company and you're having a problem employee harassing you, and they say, well, based on the current law, we're actually going to get more trouble from the harassing employee than the person being harassed, so we should fire the victim and then protect the harasser.
Yeah,
Man, there are
fact.
companies where, without naming any of them, I've heard stories where like a woman got pregnant and then immediately threatened them that if they ever reprimanded her, she would sue them for sexism and she'd get a high-powered lawyer, and then they just let her do whatever she wanted.
Oh, that's accurate.
There's
though.
an article I read the other day with someone. He quit his job like 8 months ago, and every day he's just going in there doing the least amount of possible, and he's still working there, and he's still doing his thing. It was a viral thing.
It's called quiet quitting. Okay, we're gonna go to the members section so I can answer direct to the members, because the members are the ones who make it all possible, and I'm sure they have questions and we'll answer them. So head over to timcast.com if you want to hang out at the members show. I will put it this way. If we don't do IRL, maybe Ian's got a point about we can just get rid of guests, we can get rid of travel, we can get rid of all the extraneous elements of the show, and it's like, I don't know, like 4 of us just do the show and hang out every day and we don't need a guest. And we can have guests periodically if someone wants to join the show and they can take care of it themselves. Yeah. But otherwise, we just typically don't do guests. We just do news. That's a strong possibility. I think if that's not the case, what I would do for existing members, we obviously want to maintain the Discord for the people who value it as a community. And then I would do a members only, probably like Monday through Friday at like 2 p.m. where I would just do something. That's an idea.
Awesome.
So that way there's still the members going on. There's still members only content, and the people still have access to a community, and then we'll keep some staff to maintain it, and we'll figure that out. But what we're going to do now is, that's why, because I don't want to be like, hey, go subscribe to a thing where we don't know what we're going to be doing. But if you want to watch the members only and we're going to answer questions from the members, timcast.com, you can follow me on X and Instagram. But that's another thing too. I don't even know if I'm going to be using X much longer, because removing the block feature is the most psychotic thing imaginable.
That's nuts. Yeah, I just saw that.
Having all of my stalkers at once on one day instantly just get access to my feed and lose their minds. I don't know if
I don't get it, because that's what they're basically nullifying the mute. You have the mute button where
Yeah.
you don't have to listen to the person anymore. Now they're turning the block button back into the mute button. What is
Well,
the point of
we're going to go to the members only then and
that's
talk to
true.
members. So Dave, do you want to shout anything out?
This Friday I'll be in Toms River, New Jersey. It's all Toys for Tots goes to charity. You can go to my website, davelandau.com. Food, all that stuff goes to families that need it. That's this Friday. Saturday, Sunday I'll be at Helium in Buffalo. But check out my show, Normal World. We got sketches. Ian's, of course, been on it. I hope Tim will do a sketch. I think
Yeah,
it'd be
maybe.
nice if
You know,
you
that'd be fun.
would. And yeah, check it out. It's on YouTube. You can just look up Normal World.
You guys know me. I'm Raymond G. Stanley Jr. I'm privileged and honored to be here tonight, and every night I'm on IRL hanging out here. Ian?
Ian Crossland, and like I mentioned earlier, we did the Game Jam cast. Check out the Game Jam stuff. It's great. A bunch of software developers came together and made a bunch of video games that we judged in real time. Also, what else? I'm going to be going down to North Carolina, working on cleanup a little bit. Like I said, I'll just follow my social medias at Ian Crossland and keep in touch with everything there. I go live some periodically and play video games and play music and all sorts of stuff. So I'll see ya. Oh, I also shot a movie out in LA that'll be coming out soon, but I'll tell you more about it as it releases. Serge, talk me out, baby.
Yeah. What's up, guys? It's been fun. I hope that keeps going, but it's not my call to make. Stay frosty, I guess. Yeah.
Well, and also, if I like your show. I like coming on it.
It's fun.
So thank you.
Well, thanks
So
for
whatever you choose, I'll just kiss your ass a little bit at the end. But
Yeah, I think the morning show will exist in some fashion if IRL does not, and then I can do one bigger show instead of two, bulky shows, or one light. Like the morning show has been light. Like I've only been doing four shows a week, and then IRL, of course, 5, and now I'm just like, maybe I just do 5 morning shows and weekend bonus shows, and then there's 7 shows a week once again. And more clips on YouTube and all that stuff. So we're going to do the members show. Thanks for hanging out. I guess, I expect to be here in the morning doing the morning show as per usual. So youtube.com/TimcastNews. Other than that, we'll be at timcast.com in a minute. Thanks for hanging out.